So I was like, you know what I'm going to do this weekend? I'm going to sleep, and I'm going to sleep a shit ton. So every opportunity I would just fucking close my eyes and force myself to go to sleep. I hit 100% sleep on the whoop. This is the first time I have ever done that. I got all kinds of awards and shit. And well, this is your first 100% sleep night. Congratulations.
Some customer support person at Whoop is reaching out to Matt like, are you okay? What's going
on? Did you die? Well, I mean, your heart's still beating. What is going on?
No, I'm surprised. I'm surprised Whoop. No, I'm surprised Whoop hasn't reached out to me. I'm surprised Whoop hasn't reached out to me.
Your heart metrics are a little strange compared to everybody else's.
No, they're fucked. I mean, my heart's fucked. I mean, that's just what it is, and I'm almost ready to start playing around with beta blockers again. If nothing else, to maybe save my life.
Yeah, I was gonna say, are you gonna try some of the newer ones?
Yeah. Because I was on one that apparently I tolerated it, but that was supposedly a kind of a gnarly drug. That was kind of a gnarly drug. I mean, people say that, that one makes you put on weight. It gives you ED, all kinds of like nasty side effects. But for me, that didn't do anything other than keep my heart rate at 70.
That's the other thing. This training block, my resting heart rate has continually dropped.
How the hell is that? Because
I don't know.
I'll tell you.
I have no idea. I am not doing anywhere near the amount of cardio that I was, and my resting heart rate is like chilling around 50.
Lucky you, because Matt, I figured out what fucks my heart. What fucks it is if I be an asshole. No, heat is one, and another one is if I decide to be an asshole and like lift heavy that evening, then I'm fucked. I'm absolutely fucked.
Yeah, that's when I lift. I lift really fucking heavy at night. I mean, typically like 10 o'clock at night, and normally, that's been my experience too, right? Is that normally it crashes my HRV and it spikes my resting heart rate. I have no idea why. The opposite is happening now. I cannot tell you why.
I don't know, because it's like, damn, is this going to actually? But then, ignoring that, I mean, all of that whoop stuff. It's like, I feel perfectly fine right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's just data logging, right? And are you, in my experience, are you supposed to let it dictate what you do that day? I don't think so. I don't think that's what it is. I think it's just building more. For me, where I especially like it is tracking what happens over when I input something, what the output is, right? For example, like cutting out late night cardio, I noticed is that's the big difference, right? Normally is that I would lift and then I would run. And then that was where I'd get this huge crash. The other thing too is that I have not been eating as much at night. Typically I'm eating the majority of my calories at lunch, and then having small dinner, and a lot of times like not even, I'm eating like yogurt or something for breakfast, right? And so by the time I'm going to sleep, I'm mostly depleted, right? So and normally I'll have like a protein shake or something. I'll do like 200 calorie, 50 grams of protein before I go to sleep, and I'll do like one scoop of casein, 1 scoop of whey, isolate. And man, my resting heart rate has just dropped so much, and I don't know, I'm feeling strong as fuck. I had a hell of a night. I had a push day today in the gym, and I was doing working sets of 245 on the flat bench, and boy, it felt good. Today I hit one of those days where I was like, you know what? I'm gonna fucking scream in the gym, and I don't give a shit. I was just in total fuck you mode. I do not care. And boy, I was grunting and I was yelling and I was blowing it all out. And it was fun. Everyone was staring at me like I was a fucking madman, and I just did not give a shit. Felt good.
Well, but as I said, I'm just wondering, does this whoop thing mean that I'm just going to die? I'm dead.
I don't think so. I think, if anything is that you can look at it and then, as you start to add various supplements or protocol changes, track exactly the kind of influence it has, right? That's the beauty of it. I definitely don't think it's telling you you're going to die.
Well, because the other one that raised it, I'm pretty sure, is when I added all of the other stuff. That did have an effect. Like when I did
Yeah.
The master on the GH and the Deca.
Mm-hmm.
That put it up. Because if I'm just cruising on T, my heart rate is about 90.
Yeah, so that's crazy.
Yeah, my heart rate is 90, but then I'm sure that if I were to push the T up to a dose that it would be like effective, I'd have the same problem, wouldn't I?
I don't know. I mean, I'm fairly high right now, and the one thing that I have done is that I'm not running as heavy of DHT compounds as a ratio to T right now, and and I don't know, my heart rate is as low as it's ever been my entire life, and my HRV is steady high. So I don't know, it feels good. I feel good.
Because here's the thing: is that barring
I think my E2
heart,
may have been lower than I anticipated.
Like
I think
it killed your.
I think
it killed your.
I think 50 plus may be my sweet spot instead of 30. I was doing set to 12, Phoenix. I did. Let's see. Let's see.
Yeah, because
I did 2 warm-up sets. I did a set of 12 with just the bar. I did a set of 12 with 95, and then I did 4 sets of 12 with 245. Aldo, you and I are on you and I are on the opposite ends of the high spectrum. I am so sober right now; it's unbelievable. My caffeine intake has been relatively low. I have not been drinking at all, like not even sips of alcohol. I had a drink with J Pink. I guess that was 2 weeks ago, and that is the only thing I've had in like 5 weeks. It's crazy.
Well, that's and here's how I know. I guess I'm on enough. Is that if I'm ready to start my day on 2 cups of coffee, that's when I know I'm on enough. But if I'm otherwise dragging and I'm into my 3rd, 4th, and 5th cup of coffee, that's my sign.
Yeah.
When I have to basically start living on coffee again, because Matt, been there, done that. I mean, did you know that in another time I was having like 12 cups of coffee a day?
No. That is a shitload of coffee. Oh my God.
And I'm not talking about weak-ass coffee. I'm talking about my kind of coffee.
Oh yeah. I know you're not doing a fucking half a teaspoon of Nesquik instant coffee in your cup there and calling that a cup.
No, I'm talking about the one where it's 2 tablespoons of grounds in a 6-ounce cup kind of coffee.
Yeah.
That's European style coffee.
I've been doing lifting straps, and I got to say that has been a big game changer.
Has it?
Yeah, I used them for a little bit and then I stopped, and I don't know why. I just stopped. Probably because I wasn't doing so many deadlifts anymore, and then I just started using them for all my pull days, and then even today just for wrist support in bench. And holy shit, it's
it
so
helps,
much more effective. Yes, oh my god, so it helps so much more.
Are not fucked, Matt. Even though I'm like on too much weight. I have these gloves, right? And
yeah.
These gloves, they wrap around my wrist, and I can wrap them so tight that my wrists are locked. That way my wrists don't become a casualty too. And as far as like if I'm going to do something asinine like, let's see, RDL 75-pound dumbbells have done that too.
Yeah.
I have a different set of gloves that they're VersaGrips. I do VersaGrips.
Yeah, so I was looking for the hooks that I was because I love RDLs. Like that is one of the ones that's grown on me, and the reason why I do RDLs instead of like good mornings, which I like good mornings too, but after squats, like good mornings affect my squats, right? Because there's something about that back loading, spine loading. You just doing those exercises on the same day just fucking suck. Hurts way too much. So I'll switch it up. If I'm doing like a leg press intensive day, then I'll do good mornings. If I'm doing a barbell squat intensive day, then I'll do RDLs. And again, that was another one that my grip strength was limiting on my RDLs, because I would definitely still have more ass in the tank, but my arms were giving out. And so anyway, I was thinking about the hooks, but I found these. They're called like Harbingers, and they're wrist supports, and then they've got a strap with it. And holy shit, man, what a game changer that was! I mean, I fucked my legs up last night. The one thing I have to figure out is I start kind of high bar with my squats, but it tends to roll, lower and lower as I go. And my right arm keeps going to sleep while I'm getting to the end of my set.
Yeah.
And I'm doing 2-second pauses at the bottom to just make sure I really fucking hate myself. And so it's kind of annoying. I have to like stretch my arm out and stuff in the when I get to like rep 10 or whatever, because I mean it's taking me like a minute and 45 to do 12 reps, and so somewhere in that time period, when I get to about a minute and 10 seconds, I mean my fucking right arm goes to sleep, and that is driving me fucking bananas right now. It's not like a comfortable going to sleep. It's a weird feeling. I don't like it. So.
I think what it is a bar. The bar is probably like pinching a nerve that's going to your arm. Yeah. That's probably what it is. Well, but yeah, for me, the reason why I went to VersaGrips is, I know for me, I totally have to avoid gripping anything hard with my right hand. I have to avoid that, because gripping anything with my right hand starts the tendinitis.
Okay.
Because remember, I screwed up my elbow with pruning shears. I messed those up with pruning shears. And so nowadays, Matt, if I have to use pruning shears, I got myself some 20-volt electric ones. So I don't have to grip anything anymore. I just pull the trigger and it just goes it just closes. But
my left tendon somewhere in here, actually I feel it more on like the outside of my bicep.
Yeah.
On dumbbell curls really gets me. And so I've done more maximizing the tension at complete at the bottom of at a complete stretch, right? And so doing like cable curls at a completely behind me at a full stretch, at a 90-degree angle right there, where that's the maximum tension. And wow, that has helped my elbow and tendonitis there so much. I mean, it's unreal how much that helped. Jordan asked a great question. Do you ever feel like you're just wearing your body out? Yeah, and that's when you have to recover, right? Like so you'll hear a term called a deload, and what that means is that like you've got to prioritize rest at that point and make sure you're getting ample rest. Here's the other thing too, is that like that whole fucking thing of after 8 weeks or something like that, 7 weeks, some people 9 weeks, depending on what kind of intensity you got going on, you should be at a point where you're no longer recovering and you're getting more and more perpetually tired after your workout, and that's your body telling you fucking take a week. Lift light, eat a lot, make sure you're eating enough, and fucking rest and recover. And then you can get back after it. Now, when you first start out, that first week, yeah, I mean, but you'll notice is that like your first week, you're fucked up. And then you're finally getting more and more energy. Long term, do I feel like I'm wearing my body out long term? No, I mean, here's the thing is that like he's 80 now and he's totally shot. I hear you. I hear you. I know also other 80-year-olds that are fucking up and moving around and going ham. So Jesse's 50. He's crushing it. My Uncle Buck, who we named my son after, he made it to fucking 98. And I mean, he was a hard motherfucker. That is for sure. I think it varies on people's genetics, but it's do you and not only that, Matt. I don't know. It's what you're actually doing, and like for me, J Farm, I only started this a couple years ago, and I'm going to be 51. In other words, I spent most of my life, J Farm, a shriveled up old man. I'm not even supposed to be doing this, okay? I'm not even supposed to be doing this, but what do I say to that? Fuck it. Fuck it. And however, the thing is, J Farm, is all of the heavyweight stuff, I say no to it, okay? Absolutely no. Not happening, okay? Because I don't do powerlifter training. You'll notice I do higher rep stuff. So always 8+ reps with everything.
Because here's the thing is that I've known too many guys that don't even look like they do anything, but their joints and their body is totally fucked. And you know why their body is totally fucked? Because they're powerlifting. That's why.
Here's the thing, J Farm. Running 5 miles is not the equivalent of running your car at 100 miles an hour. 5 miles for me that's a good jog, but like I can go about my day. Like I have more energy throughout my day after a 5-mile run than I do before my 5-mile run. I think that's just a factor of conditioning. Now, if I ran a 12-mile run, like I've hit my wall, right? Normally for me, that's somewhere between like 8 and 10 miles. I hit the wall and it fucks me. I hurt, like legit. I hurt. The 5, that's a good, I would say anything up to a 10K is like where I'm good, right? And but over 10 kilometers, and then I start to fizzle out pretty good. But I think like specifically, if I want to be like at my absolute physical peak for the entirety of a day, where I mean like 12 hours just on fucking fire, start with a 5K in the morning. And I mean, I am on fire. I think clearer. I think faster. I'm more put together. That's just how I am. But right now, what I'm training for is that I just once before I die, I want to be 6'4", 240 pounds at 10% body fat. And I will be a jacked motherfucker at that size. There would be like 30 pounds of additional muscle than what I have right now. And boy, I would look huge. But 240 is, you're nowhere near like big enough to like compete as like a bodybuilder or whatever. But I know just walking around, I'm going to be, top 1% of the biggest dudes walking around. So to experience that once before I die.
Well, I already have my wish granted, Matt. So I don't know what more I could ask for. I have my wish granted. You know, really.
The other thing too, J Farm, is that people my size typically don't live very long. So you know, I'm trying to get it all in. You know, you don't see too many dudes 6'4" making it over 70 years. So you know,
is that a thing? Really?
Oh yeah, dude. If you look at the fucking death rate, like once you cross the 6 foot range, your fucking life expectancy drops for like 10 years.
Look at it here. Mortality rate by height.
Here's what. Yeah. Well, and also
Men of.
Here's the thing.
What is that?
Yeah. Here's the thing: is that what they don't tell you is that the 5'6" guys, they spend a third of their life in the fucking nursing home. Fuck that. Okay. They spend a third of their life in the goddamn nursing home. I don't want that.
There you go.
I mean, they're alive, but then they're not alive.
So what is that? 175.
So I'm
2.54.
dead nuts. 195
yes.
centimeters.
Okay.
Yeah. So
175.
This would be 5'8". 5'8". Almost 5. We'll call it 5'9". 5'9" is the
5'9".
the cutoff
5'9".
there.
Yeah. 5'9", and then under 5'9", of course. Supposedly you live even longer, but then you spend a third of your life in the nursing home. No, thank you. Fuck that. And okay, this is another statistic that just fucking pisses me the fuck off. You see, Japanese strokes. We survive strokes, but you know how we survive the fucking stroke? The last 10 years of our life in the damn nursing home. That's how we survive a stroke. It doesn't kill us. It just fucks us over. Coronary heart disease. That's another one. It don't kill us, but we're crippled.
I think I'm just gonna keep going to the gym. You know, maybe hit up the semaglutide a little bit, and then just wait till my first heart attack. And only heart
Have
attack.
you heard of tirzepatide?
No, I don't.
The
know what that is.
dual GLP-1 agonist, so GLP-1 plus glucagon agonist. So this is the one. It's called Mounjaro is the
I've
one.
heard about
it is like this will replace semaglutide, and the reason why is the amount of side effects are significantly reduced, and the fact that it's dual action
too. Yeah.
And man, just what I read on the internet, people are like, "Wow, I started on semaglutide and I did not know how great it could be till I got on tirzepatide." And people are saying like, "You know, that is the fucking ticket." So like, if anyone has, I took semaglutide for a little bit, and I was one of the ones that I'm a negative responder. I mean, fucking puking and shitting my brains out at ultra. I mean, a quarter of a milligram, and I mean, just fucking awful.
Just sick.
So anyway,
Just sick, yeah.
See, Kevin Shepard said he had worse results with tirzepatide. That's interesting.
That's what it's just. It seems like it's very like I've not done any of it, but it seems like it's very, very individual. There's nothing
variable.
It's
very variable.
Predisposes or that you could say this is how you're going to react. Yeah. That's how you're going to react.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's
I
like
guess
COVID.
That's why
and the way people reacted to COVID was fucking all over the map. I was one of the weird ones that did not react to it. It almost killed my fucking mom.
Yeah, because even for COVID, the only way I knew I had COVID is that I lost my sense of smell for a month, but then it came back. That was my only indicator that I had COVID. But I was also blasting tea at that time.
Jesus, fucking Miggity lost 20 pounds to cancer. Holy shit. Yet no good.
Mm-hmm.
That's not a way to do that. I'm going to chastise him like it was his decision. Miggity, you shouldn't do that anymore.
There's probably some.
Don't
I
do
was gonna
that.
say, there's
Yeah.
probably some bitches at Jenny Craig that were like, "So this chemo thing. Let's talk more about that."
Yeah.
Oh, because okay,
I don't need my hair
got
anyway.
I got the
my hair
perfect
away.
weight loss for. Yeah, I got the perfect weight loss for them because this shit makes not only your hair fall out, but your nails fall out too. It's
You'd
called,
be surprised at how much weight you carry in your nails. That's all I'm saying.
No, but then
You'd be shocking.
all you
You
got
have gnarly ass
all you gotta-
toenails like I do. You might get a pound out of your nails.
yeah, but then all these bitches that want to do the chemo weight loss business, put them on cisplatin, guaranteed. Cisplatin is the best for weight loss. Promise.
Oh.
Yeah,
See-
that's the.
J Farm, it is. So when it's hot outside, it is like. I think it has something to do with the sun. I was just talking with Ray about this the other night.
Mhm.
When it is summer and the sun is blaring, it's not even comparable how much better I feel day in and day out. And I've tried supplementing with vitamin D and shit during winter, and there's nothing that takes the fucking place of the sun, man. Nothing about it. Having a good fucking full body sweat when your shirt is soaking wet, I don't know what it is, but it is like the most purifying fucking whatever. I don't know. But
Matt.
I
Here's
love
the
it.
here's the
That is
wild
that's why I
card.
want to move to Florida. I'm not kidding. Like, I want to go sweat all day, every day.
Okay, here's where it's a wild card is. Remember now, ever since I was a kid, I do not sweat. It can be 90 something degrees.
yeah. Boy,
I
I
don't-
do.
No, I don't. And you know that whole thing, people think, oh, that is such a superpower. That's wonderful. Bullshit. You know what not sweating means? If I'm out in the sun doing anything, I can cook my own ass to death. I can die.
I couldn't imagine what that's like. I mean, for example, I've got
you just
the
get hot.
air conditioner set at it's 77 right now because I'm by myself and I'm a cheap ass and it's fucking heat wave is rolling through, right? It's 100 degrees every day right now. So man, even just sitting here right now, I'm telling you, like, my legs are fucking soaking wet. I am sweating my ass off right now.
Okay, because just to give you the idea right now, I was telling Eric the lawn nut.
Since my
My
hair fell out,
house-
I don't sweat a whole lot on my
Yeah.
head, my face.
Oh. Okay, my house is not insulated and not all of it is AC'd, so the room that I'm in right now is 90 something degrees, right, Matt? It's 90 something degrees in this room. But notice how I'm absolutely dry everywhere. What is wrong with that fucking picture, Matt?
Yeah, you should be sweating.
And I don't. I mean, I can't tell you how many times this has resulted in a near-death experience for me.
Yeah, that is no good.
No, and so likewise, when people talk about all of this, oh, let's do some high-intensity cardio, you know what my only answer to them is? You know what? Get fucked. Get fucked. Because I spent all my life trying not to throw up on my customers' lawns. You know that? I spent
Yeah,
all
if
of
you're
my
not
life.
sweating, yeah, that's an issue.
And you know what is one of the causes of that?
Huh.
Matt, a big cause of that I found out? Growth hormone deficiency.
Mm-hmm.
If you're GH deficient, guess what happens? You lose the ability to sweat. And I'm guessing my GH deficiency started when I was a kid. Because I've always been like this. Because I know when I was younger, there was one time what did I do? I walked outside to, I guess to the gas station or something to just to get something. and it was 90-something degrees outside, and I fucking near died from that.
Yeah, look at this. Recombinant human growth hormone, HGH therapy, reversed reduced sweating and impaired thermoregulation in adults with growth hormone deficiency after 6 to 12 months of therapy. Interesting. How about them apples?
So is there a
Also
possibility that
increased
this might...
ACE and VIP staining in their pseudomotor nerves. How fucking incredible is that?
So there's a possibility this might fix me?
Yeah, yeah, very much so.
Okay, shit. I'm just going to keep on going then.
I take warm showers. I don't do. I have done like the cold shower thing from time to time, but the more and more data that's come out about that, one of the interesting things is that it actually slows down hypertrophy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
It slows down.
Define cold or warm showers too. Lukewarm.
Yeah, define cold or warm. Yeah, define cold or warm, because you see, I have the good fortune of here in Hawaii, water comes out of the pipes at about 70 degrees, which is not terrible. But you know what the good part about that is, Matt? That knocks down my damn 100-degree temperature quick. Because
I would say my water temperature is like probably like 110 degrees, something like that. I mean, it's it's warm on my skin. Like I notice it.
Because I gotta go tell you guys a little something, is that as of like about a couple of months ago, I basically haven't had a shower in hot water or warm water at all. Because I just don't want it even. Because, like I said, by the time evening comes around, I'm up to 100. I'm just up to 100. That's just where
like
I'm
if you took
rolling.
your temperature, you would be at 100 degrees.
Yes, Matt. Yes.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I'd be at like 99 point something or 100, Matt. That's why I say tropical anabolism is bullshit for me.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, because I would be, especially like when I get in the afternoon, and by the time like I'm getting into the shower, I'd say I'm probably like 97, 97.5, something like that.
Not me. I mean, I've been as high as 100 in the afternoon.
Yeah, it's
I've
crazy.
been as high as one. Yeah, and like I said, the worst part, and you know what I figured out too about myself is, if my temperature is high like that, my strength is like zapped.
Oh yeah, I mean you're literally operating with a fever. Who has strength when they have a fever? I mean, when I have a fever, the only thing I want to do is just like lay down. I don't want to fucking move.
Because like that other night where I pushed up those 65s, Matt.
Mm-hmm.
You know how I did it? Right before I did that, I literally spent about 10 minutes in cold water.
Just to bring your temperature down.
Yeah, just to bring it down.
Someone sent me pictures that I'm going to email.
Well, I've got a mailbag question I got to dump in here too, J-Pink. Fuck. Forgot about that. It's over here. Here we go.
Where am I?
Oops.
Friend of ours, Nasty Nate, has been playing around with a control option on POA and has seen incredible success. So I thought I would share that.
That's velocity.
Velocity plus PGR.
A new?
Uh-huh.
A new and velocity? Wow. That's like a... Wait a minute. That's a little bit spicy, though, because my experience mixing SUs and PGR is basically be careful.
That's how much you can tolerate. I think they'll bounce
Be
back.
careful.
Everything I've seen
Yeah.
that's not on Kentucky Bluegrass so far with velocity's been
Velocity.
pretty stellar. Different. Damn, son. Shit's melting away. Little seed soil in there.
Yep. Reseed time.
Holy
Yep,
shit.
reseed in that spot. Yeah. That guy, he's gone. Impressive. Damn impressive.
Oh, this is a fucking hell of a story here. God damn. Shit. Okay. Are you serious? What the fuck is this one? Wow.
Wow. Those are
I
some
gotta-
impressive results.
When is this study from? Oh, wow. That's going to be a different one that we got to dive into this on. There's one from Toronto I'm going to put in here that there's a bunch of like links to other articles that it's citing, and it'd be a good one to dive into and just take the whole thing apart because, wow. It's out there. What the fuck? Oh, we can read the. You guys want to read the Greene County Fertilizer advertorial from Landscape Management Magazine?
It's absurd.
The timing. The timing was great.
Perfect
Are
time.
we gonna have to have an intervention with him, by the way?
Shaddix?
We'll see what he says
Shaddix?
after my email to him.
It's funny. I think he's actually going to come visit me at work sooner than later. Pretty excited.
Oh dear.
Oh yeah.
Oh man.
All right, I'm good with whenever we can. I'll just keep dumping some articles in here.
Well,
we can
I was
do 'em
going to say we got a lot of mailbag.
Let's do the
kinda piled
mailbag
up.
first. I need to get Jonah's turf in here too.
And that's why I was like, I don't know if we want to do like a mailbag. Maybe, put a little bow on the whole MILF oil thing and then go into some Jono's turf or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
That sounds good. That's why you're
Just
the
keep
producer.
Just keep it simple.
Just keep it simple. That's right.
I definitely drank plenty of alcohol tonight, Matt. So
Tonight?
yeah.
What are you doing, J Pink?
They
we
Pink's
just,
on a school night.
yeah, we got ribs and a couple bottles of wine from Total Wine, and yeah, we keep it light. That's cool.
Oh yeah.
Because J Pink's fucked up.
Damn.
Nah,
Oh Lord.
not.
I was like, wait,
that
what'd you
far.
say? When? When did you do this? Tonight?
Tonight?
wow.
Yeah.
Tonight?
Yeah.
Yeah. Dang.
You don't sound bad at all. Like I
know.
would have never known.
I was I'm perfectly okay. I just didn't
I'm
I
perfectly
didn't
fine.
pick I did not pick up on that at all.
I'll never know. I'm like
Um,
Justin Timberlake.
Justin Timberlake, dude. How about that? Did you watch that video I sent on politics?
Oh yeah.
When he was
That
down there in the
face he was
crowd singing,
making.
holy
Yeah.
shit!
I saw a meme
Wow.
that said Justin Timberlake met the Hawk Tua girl.
I saw that too.
I was making the face.
What is this? Oh man, this one. This is brand new. I'm gonna have to watch through this real quick. Just give me 2 minutes to like.
Carouse through.
1 hour old Allen video.
Oh God, I can only imagine what that is. I'm surprised that like we got no comments about talking about Alan on video. None.
Yeah,
I think
I forgot
people
to go
that
look
hate our
back.
guts have self-selected out. And that's a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of just being, it's no longer rage bait anymore. It's just we really talk openly about people we fucking don't like.
Yeah, I mean it's crazy. You get more people simping for fucking Doc and Ron Henry than you do Alan now, which is strange.
That is like bizarre to me. I guess it's because there are people that honestly believe that Doc and Ron Henry are actually people that know what they're doing, and we don't know what we're talking about. We honestly don't know what we're talking about. We're idiots.
Is I meant to ask, is Ginger back?
That's a good
I don't
question.
know.
Let's see.
I don't know. I don't know because
He's probably still in the basement of that Washington pizza place with FBI Kevin.
Actually,
he
his
is
his
back.
channel got
It's funny. It
channel
said
got
when
hacked.
I first did it, it says Ripple.
Yeah.
It hasn't fully populated through yet, but it does appear to be back.
Yeah, his channel was hacked.
He fell for a crypto scam. Ripple
Yep.
is a coin.
Mm-hmm.
How funny is that?
All right, that's a dumb one.
Yeah, it says Ripple, and his
His at.
is different. Yeah.
And it's funny because this is the Ripple coin logo.
If you go to
And,
videos, if you click on the videos tab, they're there,
They're there,
and
yeah.
and the URL changes back to @Est and Longinja.
Oh, yeah, look, it changed to @Ripple Eventers. How funny is that? Man, he really did. He got fucking
Got
baited. Atta
I wonder
boy.
if he'll address it.
I wonder. Look, so there's several different scams going around right now. Like one of them is, you get the random text from strangers, especially if you have like WhatsApp or something. We have some foreign people that we do business with that, and we communicate everywhere on WhatsApp, and you'll get the random WhatsApp messages. And a lot of times it'll be some strange, seemingly out of nowhere chick who looks like directly pulled off, some website as a picture. And they'll be like, hey, how are you doing? I saw, this and this about you or whatever, I'd like to learn more about what you do. And any dude who has an IQ over your thermostat setting would look at that and be like, well, I am 100% confident that this is a scam. But if you go into it, you'll see, and a lot of these are on YouTube where scam baiters will bait all these people. And, anyway, if you get into it, you'll see it's actually a crypto scam, right? and they try to give you to open up, some sort of either Coinbase or whatever else, and they assume control of it, and then they trade on your money or whatever. Another one is they trying to get you invest in some kind of bullshit coin, and that'll be another one. But the fact that they changed all this one to Ripple makes me think that actually he did do one of the lover girl baits, because typically they use existing coins. They don't do bullshit coins. So that's kind of interesting.
J Farm said he should have used his 5-step diagnosis for that.
Did not.
So, who's this pretty
bull test?
Who's this pretty lady from Cambodia who is desperate to get to know me? Turns out
who's this fucking guy?
It's some random mouth breather from Hong Kong who stole all my information.
I think he was doing the pull test, DeMay. I think that's the problem.
Yikes!
That's that's against the teachings of Latter-day Saints, I think.
Yeah, man. Go to your wife if you're trying to fucking. Is she gone? What happened to her?
That's a good question.
Oh, and we're this is not the actual recorded part, right? Does anybody have any information on Alan getting a divorce?
Another one?
Because people were saying that in the people were saying that in the stream last night, in our last stream.
Where's he live? Bradenton?
Yeah,
Bradenton, Florida. Yep.
Not Sarasota, but Bradenton, right?
Yeah, Bradenton.
All right. So yeah, that's right. Okay, so
it could be ongoing. It may not. I don't know. It was.
Here we go. Give me a second here.
Oh, that's not a search.
Yep.
Is it?
Yep. Here we go. Nothing. God damn it. Nope.
You got to order it. I started to Google a little bit, but I didn't go too aggressive into it just because I don't know. I know more of that backstory than I should. Again, it's one of those things when you invite Matt Martin and John Borden out to your place and you want to try to impress us by doing a bunch of drugs, be cognizant of who your guests are. That's all I'm saying.
I got you, buddy. I got you here.
Look at this. Look at DeMay.
Yeah, hang on a second here. It's been a minute, actually. Go ahead and get this here for you.
Yeah, someone DM'd me and said it may have been somewhere around 2023, in March.
Mm-hmm.
January, actually, is when it was filed.
Interesting.
He filed against her.
Yeah, not surprised.
Ha.
Not surprised.
Because he's a total douchebag?
No fault. Those dissolution.
There's.
Actually,
you lose half of everything.
No, not necessarily. In a dissolution, you get to negotiate what you do. But his final hearing was last Monday. He's done.
Yeah, it was. Again, when you're hanging out with Matt Martin and John Borden and you're eating copious amounts of mushrooms, be careful. That's all I'm saying.
You're going to a place that few have been to and even fewer have returned from.
Yeah, and if there are two people that are going to have their shit together, regardless of what you feed them, it's me and my business partner. one of the weird thing is that I was the one who I was shocked that it would get as open as it did. Well, I guess I'm not shocked. I knew what was going to happen, and that was why I didn't go down the mushroom rabbit hole. There were like gel caps or whatever, and I think I took 2, and they were literally eating them as if it was fucking steak and potatoes or whatever. And anyway, I didn't because it was odd, right? Like there's not too many times that you show up and you meet someone face to face for the first time and then they just start dumping copious amounts of drugs on the table. Some people you could tell it's kind of their personality or whatever, and it makes sense, right? And you're like, whatever, this is a party guy, right? And it wouldn't make me uncomfortable at all. Especially if I know a little bit of their story or whatever. It's like this old frat guy or something, I'm like, yeah, it's fucking, he's a Sigma Chi. Of course he's gonna lay down a bunch of drugs on the table, right? It is what it is. But oh boy, J Pink, that's interesting. But that in that scenario, it did not make a lot of sense, right? It's kind of out of left field. So I had a feeling things were going to get weird, and not in a good way, kind of weird. And I was like, I'm going to drink and I'm going to hold back and I'm just going to listen and I'm going to ask a lot of questions. And I did not expect to get the questions answered that I had answered. And boy, it was nutty. I'll say that. So to see that this happened is not shocking to me. I'll say this is that if I did an ounce of the craziness that was going on there to my wife, not only would she have left a long time ago, she would have set me on fire on the way out. I'll leave it that way. It was incredibly, so far beyond disrespectful.
Mm-hmm. We should light this candle because the storms are rolling in.
I was wondering what that sound was. I was like, holy shit, what was that?
Damn. Yeah.
J Pink saw me take my headphone off and knew exactly what I was listening for.
Mm.
You heard it too.
Well then
right.
We will roll right into the intro here.
As business owners, entrepreneurs, family men, it's difficult for us to find the time to put together projects like these. Even though it's something we really want to do, unfortunately, taking care of the things we have to take care of comes first. However, because of viewer support for people like you, we're able to continue doing this. Please consider joining our Patreon and supporting the Burn and Return podcast. You're listening to Burn and Return, a weekly 1-hour podcast covering news from the agricultural and turfgrass industries.
With the DJ Scratch. How's everybody doing? Welcome to another episode of Burn and Return. Just a heads up, we're going to have to do this a little bit differently tonight just because we had an overwhelming amount of information that was sent to us via our mailbag. JP, can you hit that mailbag sound real quick? I caught him off guard.
You've got mail.
He was flipping through the screen.
He was looking for
damn it. Of course he did that right now. Anyway, so we had a ton of that, and so we're gonna alter our script a little bit. We're gonna have a little bit of an alter show where we are gonna do an extended segment of the mailbag. We got one story. It sounds like we've reached to totality, and so we'll cover that, and then of course DeMay is gonna hem haw us with a lovely episode of Joe Knows Turf. So welcome aboard our not necessarily abbreviated but reorganized version of Burn and Return. That out of the way, gentlemen, how the hell are y'all doing?
Well, it's the mailbag here at the Grass Factor is much like the ball bags. When they fill up, you got to empty them because you don't want to be walking around with a loaded gun out there. Am I right, Ray?
Yes. Absolutely not. No,
See?
no walking around with loaded guns. That's bad.
That's bad. All right. So don't have to be in Chicago to know that. I mean, this goes for anywhere. You know what I'm saying? Ball bags, mailbags.
Yeah.
Just keep them empty at all times. Everybody's safer that way.
Absolutely, Ryan. Absolutely. I mean, you know what, guys? As an editorial note, this is going to be my first June where I don't feel and look like absolute shit.
You're a boy, right?
I'm not kidding about
You're a boy.
I'm not kidding about that because
all I heard. Oh, go ahead, Ray.
Because up
His
until
balls
now, not yet, but but anyway, yeah, this is the first year where I'm not sick. I'm not withering, and I'm not wondering how bad I'm going to be by December. This is the first year.
All I heard there is that Ray and Sheila are going to engage in some role play where Ray is like an 1880s steam train conductor. He's going to put on the overalls, the hat, and he is going to pour the fucking coal to Sheila's firebox. And I can't wait to see it. You hear that? That's the steam.
That I thought, yeah, that's the firebox is steaming something hot or another. Yeah, it's fire. That means so. Let's go ahead and we'll jump into this. Let's see what's going on with the ever expanding, overflowing mailbag, ball bag.
There's a bag. I don't know. All right, so which one are we doing first? Oh,
yeah, we'll kick off here with what do you think, Dave Hines? Start there.
Yeah, we can start there. We can just read it.
All right, we'll go here. So Dave wrote in and he said, I'm looking to level my lawn to obtain a slightly smoother lawn. I was wondering what would be the best lawn leveling mix to top dress with. Specifically, I was trying to decide between 100% sand or a 25% compost, 75% sand mix. As a background, I have 7,000 square feet of Kentucky bluegrass lawn with a coarse soil, clay, and a 7.5 pH. Located in central Iowa, this year I've applied 2 applications of elemental sulfur, 2 applications of ammonium sulfate, and 1 application of urea to lower the pH and provide nitrogen. So far, I have about 1.5 pounds of N down per 1,000. Central Iowa, Kentucky bluegrass, high pH, well, over 7 pH. Gentlemen, I'm going to, in my opinion, the simplest in terms of predictability, in my opinion, would be sand. Simplest in terms of probably not needing to do a whole lot the rest of the year, but not necessarily having the most level lawn would be compost, right? Because the advantage of using compost is that one, the amount that you have to water during the grow in period and all that theoretically may be reduced depending on the quality of compost you have, and you're also going to get some fertility out of it as well too. However, as that degrades and mineralizes, you're going to get more settling than you would with just 100% sand. Now, with sand, you'll have less settling, an overall more level output versus your input. And but it could be a little bit touchier on water, and I don't know how statistically significant that would be, but I would guess it's going to be a little bit touchier on water, and you still have to maintain your fertility program to encourage that recovery. So if it were me and I were doing it, I personally would choose just all sand. So I don't have to worry about any particular weeds that came in. I don't have to worry about the pH of the compost I'm using. Is it actually compost that's going down? Is it just a bunch of litter from leaf piles and all the other shit? So I think, in my opinion, y'all tell me if I'm full of shit or not, sand just makes more sense to me. What would y'all do?
I agree with that. That I think from a sourcing standpoint and from a application standpoint, that sand will be your best bet. I also think too that it gives you a little bit wider berth on like the lifts or the deflection that you have, right? So if you have areas where you're, plus or minus, an inch and a half or something like that, where you could have a spot that's an inch and a half higher right next to a spot that's an inch and a half lower, that's 3 inches of deflection, right? And if you're trying to incorporate sand and compost into that and level things off, you have that big of a deflection, it's going to be a problem. Like you're just not going to get there. Or if you do, it's going to, like what Matt was just alluding to. And I know Ray is teed up, ready to go about putting compost on the lawn. So I'll stop there. Ray, you're ready. Look, you're ready to jump through the screen.
Yep. Because compost is an example of a material that can potentially create more problems than it solves. And if you're trying to level an area, my nightmare is I level it, I get it all good, and then 25% of that material then just starts to randomly shrink and compact back down, and it does so in an unpredictable manner. And the next issue that I have is with compost, you put down compost on that lawn, that may be the last time you put nitrogen on that yard for the next 5 years. Here's why. Compost is like a 0.5, 0.5, 0.5. I mean, depending on how it's sourced, right? You might think, oh, that is nothing, but then, sir, think about how much compost you're actually applying. You're not applying 20 pounds of that per 1,000 square foot. You're applying that by the ton per 1,000 square foot. So theoretically, you're applying a lot of nitrogen. Beware. My next question is water retention. To me, water retention is a double-edged sword because, when you're managing high expectation, high quality turf, water retention is not my friend. Because for me, I always tell people it is easy for me to add nutrients and add water. It's tough for me to take it away. It's just like me going in there and, okay, I'm going to put like a shit ton of salt and pepper on this pasta. Too much. Now I'm stuck. I cannot take it away. And that's the same situation that has with compost, in that a lot of people sell compost as an easy button, but it's anything but an easy button, because that then takes away your control over that area. You just got to ride the lightning.
There it is. Southeast Minnesota Dan wrote in and he said, boys, y'all are clearly homoerotic with your sleeveless shirts on. I'm just kidding. He did not write that. Just to add from what I think I've learned from you guys is, if it is dollar spot, do not use azoxystrobin on it. Correct. Use propiconazole, but it may be brown patch. Then a mixture of propiconazole and azoxystrobin can be used. Again, I've never dealt with fungus, so I may be way off. And then, JPEG, if you can kind of open this question here, and he did. He actively circled some lesions that we see here. And so what I am going to do is that we're going to take a look at the shapes of the lesions that he has circled here. And then I pulled up a couple of textbook like pictures. And we'll start number one with the first picture I sent, JPink. If you could take a look at this, and this is Pythium, is what I sent. You can clearly see what almost looks like a moldy, kind of slimy look to it. You see the mycelium growing there. And then you can kind of see some lesions that are there. But mainly you've got this weird kind of moldy look. And I'll say that whatever disease Minnesota Dan had is beyond this point, right? So it's not quite there. But if you do go back to Minnesota Dan's picture there, it looks like there's mycelium in it, but I know he's also in Southeast Minnesota, so these are more than likely from cottonwoods. The easy thing to do is to rub it between your fingers. If it dissolves into absolutely nothing, then that's mycelium. It just kind of leaves like water on your hand. But if it actually retains almost like a cottony fibrous, cellulosic type material, then that would be either some sort of webbing material, or a from a tulip poplar or cottonwood, whatever you call them in your area. So I'm not entirely. I'll tell you right now. Now, if we go to the next one, JPEG, the next picture here that I sent, this is more your tried and true brown patch, right? Where you kind of have these irregularly shaped patterns. You have that brown, almost black edge to it. It normally doesn't cross the entirety of the leaf. You just see a chunk of the leaf that's infected. And then if you go to the last picture, JPEG, this is dollar spot. It has more of that traditional hourglass-esque shape to it. It actually does cross the entirety of the leaf blade. And so you've got green on one side, you got green on the other side, and then you've got this indentation there where it's kind of dried up and shriveled up. So this is your traditional dollar spot. So taking a look at Minnesota Dan's picture, I'm going to lean that this is more than likely brown patch, possibly Pythium that hit. I don't know if he's going through the heat wave that the rest of the country is. I'd have to take a look at his weather data. But I would say that if he's experiencing 90s and high humidity, then more than likely it's Pythium. I would say if he's experiencing 80s and high humidity, more than likely it's brown patch. And it's just that's a very vague generalization. I can say that I'm fairly confident this is not dollar spot, but it's hard to tell at this point because it's run its course. So if it were me, I personally would go with azoxystrobin and propiconazole, but that's just me. I don't know. I'm curious what you guys think, and if you would have a different approach to this.
Ray, you want to go first? On me?
Go ahead, Ryan. This is your ball.
Fair enough. So I think here with Dan, run it. I want to go back in his comment here and just read one quick thing. So he has not used any fungicide leading into this. Okay. So a few things, right? It's been really, really wet in southeastern Minnesota here the last week or so. Probably actually a bit longer than that. So conditions are ripe out there for a variety of things. These spots, I'm going to say right now, it's really, really hard to tell, but I'm leaning towards brown patch in this particular case. The idea of going out with, two modes of action, there's nothing wrong with that with the azoxystrobin propiconazole. It's probably going to be most easily procured from Dan's point of view, and then get out there and get in front of this. I don't necessarily think that you're going to have much of an issue. I sure would like to see, does he have any other photos here that just that one? Yeah, that one's tough to tell. I would sure love to see a wider angle of it, and then some of the grass blades a little bit closer up than just this. I think this looks like a zoomed in.
This has been part of a kind of an email thread over the last several episodes. So give me a minute. He might have sent us something previously. We can go to Ray and then circle back to me.
Okay.
Okay. Let's see. Here's my opinion on this, is that knowing the conditions that have been existing in that region, wow. I mean, what is it? Hotter and wetter than Sheila on Saturday night?
There you
go. Okay. That
in June.
To me, in June. Ooh, yeah, that's right, June. Okay. So my approach to this condition, and I've actually had to answer questions from other people elsewhere about disease on their cool season grass in their Midwest, and my immediate advice to them was, okay, 1, you are going to cover for dollar spot. 2, you are going to cover for brown patch. And 3, you will also cover for Pythium. And if you truly value your lawn, what that looks like is azoxy plus propiconazole, or else triadimethon plus trifloxystrobin, also known as Armada, plus phosphatyl L.
Oh, wow.
Yes, I mean, I'm not fucking around here, because what I know about Pythium is that Pisium is a case of a disease where it's okay until it's not okay, and all of a sudden you realize that by July, half of your lawn is gone. Because with Pisium moves fast, right? It doesn't move slow. I mean, I'm talking about your lawn is okay this week, and next week it's not okay. It's dead. And if you're in those kind of conditions, I also have to advise on relying on certain types of fungicides during periods of high Pisium pressure. Because I know a common fun.
Open these pictures, J-Paint, because I think this is we're going to have our answer here. If you do one of the ones that shows more of the entirety of the yard, everything that I see. This is the problem when you try and diagnose off just one image, right? So we were just looking at a zoomed in spot of just a few visual lesions. Okay. Now, when we are looking at, when we look at it zoomed out at the entirety of the lawn, the way this pattern is spread, you see $50, full dollar size spots sprinkled throughout it. Now we're looking more and more like dollar spot, right? Now, here's the thing is that are you going to be, if you walked out into your lawn right now, I don't care where you are, and if you're going through the heat wave right now, which I think the overwhelming majority of the country is, and you walk outside and you look, you're going to find lesions on your grass somewhere, without a doubt. The question becomes, is the pressure high enough that it's actually going to start wiping out grass at a scale that is no longer tolerable to you, right? Because you're not going to keep it in the same way, right? When we approach pest management, and when I say pest management, pesticide management, is it feasible to keep 100% of the weeds out of a property at all fucking times? No, absolutely not. Sometimes you got a handful of weed. Sometimes you just let it go. Sometimes you don't notice it, and it's been there for 3 months and it hadn't even come above the canopy yet due to the growing conditions. So is it feasible that you have 100% weed pressure control at all times? No. In the exact same way, is it feasible that you have 100% disease pressure control at 100% of the time? No, absolutely not. So even though we found a zoomed in picture where we would identify a couple lesions that could draw the conclusion that, oh, well, all of the damage must come from those one or two lesions we found. Now that we see the overall pattern that's in play here, we have a better understanding that no, those are probably just fluke lesions that we managed to find in the midst of trying to scope as we go through the diagnostic process of trying to figure out what it is affecting this turf. So now that we take into account more variables, in this particular instance, the size of the disease, the pattern that it's shown as in the way it's affected the turf, this is very clearly dollar spot. All right, I have no other doubt that this is dollar spot. Mm-hmm. So
I don't have a doubt.
In reference to his question, if it is dollar spot, okay. Here's the thing: is that can you use azoxystrobin with propiconazole on dollar spot? Headway does list dollar spot as being controlled by those two. I can say that I've only attempted this on. I do not deal with dollar spot where I live. I did a little bit. I would see it on Bermuda and shit. Even when I was further south, I never saw it. Period. Like when I was in Augusta, dollar spot wasn't even really a thing. Occasionally, you'd see it in Memphis during the green up. Here, you don't see fucking dollar spot on Tall Fescue or Bermuda, and so it's not really something I had to deal with. On the occasion that I did, and I did apply Headway, it was effective. But again, my pressure is extremely low. I'm not like DeMay is in the Midwest, where it ain't just a little bit of dollar spot. It is holy fuck you. That is a monumental amount of dollar spot. I've never seen that in person before. So your mileage may vary where I can say, yes, I can run headway and it's not going to flare the dollar spot. I'll actually get a fair amount of control out of it. That might not apply to DeMay. So I'm curious, DeMay, in this particular instance, would you feel comfortable using a headway with this kind of dispersion, or would you just run propiconazole? Then give them the heat with where the heat is. What do you have major concerns? I mean, the turf looks exceptionally healthy. So in my opinion, I think it would be fine.
Like southeast Minnesota. Let me take a look. Yeah, I mean the temperatures are moderating big time. Wow. I mean they've got highs in the 70s. There's a day in the 60s next week up that way. So I think he's going to be fine. If it were me, especially with that weather coming, it would be propiconazole, like 1.5 ounce rate, and then some nitrogen to help grow out of that. So you're going to get a little bit of suppression from your DMI with the propiconazole, but got to get things to check up here a little bit, stop things where they're at, and then a FERT will help you go through it. I'd say it's pretty simple.
Yeah. And
good picks. I'm on board. Save, J-Pink.
Yeah. No,
we're about to cut this guy's liver out.
Yep. And this is where, for me, I would agree with the dollar spot as well, except my preference for DMIs goes a little different, especially for dollar spot, because my preferred DMI for dollar spot goes to either myclobutanil or triadimethon. However, the way I get those two DMIs to really kick some ass on the dollar spot is it's never just a fungicide, because in this case I'm going out with, for example, myclobutanil plus some AMS or urea plus some soluble iron. 1, 2, 3, apply it. And you know what that's going to do? That's going to give you the best chance of the lawn greening back up and you making this disease condition subside, because I've seen it somewhere where somebody did some work on that, maintaining a certain iron and nitrogen level in the turfgrass actively reduced incidence and severity of dollar spot in cool season turf. I saw some research on that. So that's where I would go.
All right. I got to put this down. Sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was going to move on unless you got something else.
No. Nope. I just got a late entry for Jenna's turf.
Oh, okay.
Supersede. Sorry.
Eric Schott said, when listening to the discussion about Dr. Shattuck's in-only comments, to me, he's talking about, he is not talking about the professional, but rather you at your house and me. Let me explain. I think he's talking to you and Uncle Rick at the end of the street that are generally happy with their lawns and it is meeting the needs and looks good enough to them. Just want to maintain a usable lawn. The second is me, who is not completely happy with all of my lawn, but need to focus on the problem areas and the areas in the bottom of the pyramid getting water, light, and grading right. Lastly, I feel his point is that when previously satisfied Rick calls and says H has a problem on the left side of his driveway, we should check irrigation and the other basics before we start chasing boron. Second, that is 100% fair. I think you're exactly right. Second thing is Tahoma 31 Bermuda update. Got the sod put down last July and watered it like a terrorist in Guantanamo Bay over the summer. Came in great. Had a cold snap down in the low teens over Halloween that checked it out. Was showing some color early April and kicking along nicely, but May 1st, rotary mowing at 1.5 inches with a little push mower. Planning on doing some leveling with topsoil this summer. My mailbag question is really on the quest for Bermuda spread. Culturally, I'm mowing as low as the mower will go as often as I can with a few feet apron around it, trying to advantage the warm season over the cool season grasses. Verticutting with the local Home Depot power rake rental suffice? Would spreading spoils into healthy cool season work? Would spreading spoils? Is it, are you talking like seed heads or
sprigs? I think it might have been autocorrect.
Yeah,
I think it might have been autocorrect. Yep.
Yeah, you're right. I assume treat that like sprigs and water the hell out of it. Would spreading mowing clippings have any use? Plan A was a spray and apron with Monument. Looking more into it, I was not comfortable with the tight application rates and complexity of surfactants. Just not there in my applicator journey yet. I've looked at some less complex herbicide options, but at this point, I am not planning on any this year. What I am planning and wanting some feedback on is advantaging the warm season over cool season with fertilizer throughout the summer heat. Can this work? And if so, how much is enough? Too much? Thanks for all the help and thought-provoking conversation. Yeah, so guys, there's kind of a lot here to unpack. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on the Dr. Shaddix thing because I think he's exactly right. That again,
yeah,
he is Shaddix producing all this content for the guy who has, you know, 6,000 lawns under his belt and is trying to give you the strategy of how to grow your 6,000 account business to 10,000 accounts? No, 100% not. He's talking about maximizing your return on investment for every dollar you spend on your property, right? Where are you going to get your highest ROI? And I think that's clear cut, easy to deduce. Now, when it comes to spreading your Bermuda grass, right, there's one of the things that I kind of want to get into you about here. Okay, so you're mowing at 1.5 inches. You're trying to go as low as you go. Here's the thing: is okay. How do I make this sound as less controversial as it is? Your height of cut isn't as important as the amount of clippings you remove per cut. Okay, and I think this is even more so influenced by the type of mower you're using. So, in my opinion, with a rotary mower, you are going to get a lot more lateral spread at 2 inches, 2.5 inches, than you will at 1.5 inches, or heaven forbid, even something like 1 inch. Unless you're able to maintain the level and frequency that you are, your removal rate is so small that you're nowhere near the stems.
Matt, I need to actually. Do you know why I am so opposed to rotary mowers on warm season grasses? Do you know why I'm so opposed to them?
Sure, tell me.
Let me explain why. It is because a rotary mower, when you try to get a rotary mower down to low heights of cuts, here's what's happening. That rotary mower is literally catching on the stolons that are trying to crawl on the surface, picking them up, and yanking them out. It's yanking on the grass. It's not allowing the grass to necessarily tack down. And so, when you said mow higher with the rotary mower, that's exactly it. Because what I don't like to see people do with the rotary mower on their warm season grass is set their rotary mower low. Especially if they have a more consumer grade rotary mower that is not generating the high blade tip speeds such that it stands a better chance of actually cutting the grass. If you have a low-powered consumer rotary mower and you're jamming that through that thick Bermuda turf and all it's doing is it's just yanking stolons, I think you're doing more harm than good at that point. And this is where what I would actually do if I wanted to make that Bermuda be at the advantage when I'm trying to make it take over a cool season turf area, I would bite the bullet, stop fudging around, and just get the damn real mower. Just do it. Because this is a real half-assed way to do it with a rotary mower.
Yeah, I'll say this, Eric, is and this is no lie. A lot of times, like, I may go an entire month without mowing, just to give it time to just do its thing and divert energy where it's going to go. And a lot of times you would be shocked, especially like if you kill a surrounding area, you create that apron and you just stop cutting your Bermuda grass, you would be freaked the fuck out at how much it just ran into it. You'd be like, what is going on? And you're going to have 4.5 inch tall Bermuda, and it's going to be scraggly as hell. And you're going to see it all tacking down to that apron. And it's going to go against everything you've ever been told about mowing frequency and everything else. You got to think every time you cut, there's a lot of injury that takes place there, right? And so, you're balancing your injury ratio versus, new root and shoot development. So try and keep that in your mind.
Okay, I can corroborate and agree with that, because do you know what I do to a turf area that I need to make filled in? Do you know what I do to it? Stop fucking mowing it. That's what I do to it. Stop mowing. Keep the mowers off of it until the turf does its thing, and this is applicable to warm season grasses that are stoloniferous. I mean, I literally say, okay, we have a 3-week mowing moratorium until I see the grass sending out its stolons into the areas that I want it to send stolons to, because like I said, especially if someone's mowing equipment is not something like a greens mower and they're using something like a rotary mower or, God forbid, a string trimmer, that mowing injury can often be the factor that keeps the grass from filling in, versus if you were to just leave it be for about 2 or 3 weeks. I can confirm that too, Matt.
And do you I totally get it with Monument, and like you're not there in your journey, man. Trust me. Yeah, I get it. No one should take that herbicide lightly. It's not forgiving in that sense, and when you get there, you'll get there. I will say, if you want to play around with rates of glyphosate, is actually beautiful for this scenario. 16 ounces per acre, 32 ounces per acre is sufficient in going to knock out the majority of your cool season grass. You're going to see probably some clumps of K31 will pull through that, no problem. It will not. It'll knock the dick out of the Bermuda, but the Bermuda is going to come back. It's definitely not going to kill it. Okay, so there will be about a 2-week window under which it goes through some death. You're going to see some material start to move into it. And by 4 weeks, anything that was going to survive will survive. Again, that's low rate glyphosate. We're 16 ounces an acre, 32 ounces an acre. We're talking low rate stuff here, and it is more forgiving than Monument would be. What do you got, DeMay?
I got a lot. I'll just say this, is that I agree on the mowing equipment. I think that what I've seen from Tahoma in the Midwest, which is on my very small sample size, is that you can maintain it effectively at a low height of cut at, an inch, let's say, with a rotary mower. Now, the key here is, I think we've seen this through establishment, we've seen this through maintenance, is that you've got to have some type of a rolling component that goes along with your mowing. That's the big deal. So if you are just out there push mowing this, Eric, with just your regular old snapper push behind, actually Ray's his snapper you push from the front. That's a different story. But with this here, nobody got that. That was a good one. Fuck.
Sorry, I'm too monitoring here.
So the big thing there is that if you can roll it. So JP, throw those photos up. Let me show you real quick. This is an establishment on Tahoma. So 11 days after spring, just what you'd expect to see 11 days after spring. There's not a whole lot going on there. Okay. So then fast forward here about another 30 days. That's all mowed with a rotary mower. So what Ray is saying is true, that there is some lift that you get on those real long runners. But the thing with these newer vegetative types is those runners, And Tahoma is way different than what like Iron Cutter is, for example. You'll get a little bit longer runners, but nothing crazy on this to where you won't so much lift it up. But the rolling component. So this is getting mowed probably 4 or 5 times a week. It's getting rolled every single day. So just that rolling component of getting those runners to tack in is a huge thing. So E-Shot, even if you just put one of those like whatever, those big league lawn stripers or whatever, put those back. This is another 30 days later. So this is end of August, mowed with a rotary. So it can be done. It's an aggressive grass. As far as like getting it to take over in other cool season areas, absolutely chop out just a small little divot sized piece, fix it like a ball mark on a green, take that little piece, toss it and sprig it into cool season and just watch it spread. We've got a section of grass that I've just chopped up and put little pieces in over the years. It's almost completely taken over here in the last probably 3 or 4 years. That's all Bermuda. So definitely doable.
And I'll say this, that when it comes to warm season fertility, especially with Bermuda grass, like forgiving is an understatement, right? Like you're not going to overdo it. You can in a single application. Don't get me wrong, you can. But if you're going out a half pound every 2 weeks, that is for certain going to show priority to the Bermuda grass over your cool season grass. It's very aggressive, and it's going to grow its ass off. But for all intents and purposes, what you're looking to do, it's going to be very unfriendly to your cool season grass, and it'll be very friendly to your Tahoma 31.
Exactly, because that's like the last piece of this is, if I wanted to disadvantage cool season grass and advantage the Bermuda grass that I had plugged or otherwise introduced into the cool season area, I would literally be doing 1/3 to 1/2 of a pound of nitrogen every 2 weeks from now till September. I'd be just doing it every 2 weeks, keep on going now till September. And that is in conjunction with manipulating mowing. And Ryan, you just said something very key about a minute ago.
Wow.
The other reason why I'm particularly fond of greens mowers is because, that cast iron filled aluminum drum that is often a component of most greens mowers? Mm-hmm. Ryan, that is my best friend as far as rolling down loose stolons and getting them to tack in and establish. That is my best friend, literally, because I'm rolling around a 250-pound machine on the lawn every week anyway. And that roller helps as far as getting things to tie down versus, I'm going to use that janky rotary mower on this lawn and wonder why the damn lawn looks so thin. Just saying.
There it is.
So let's see here. We have Jason wrote into us. He said, I've been binge listening to your newly discovered podcast and love the content. Keep it up. Thank you for listening, James. Jason, I'm sure we'll piss you off at some point. My apologies in advance. I have a Kentucky bluegrass lawn, 42,000 square feet. By the way, I saw Timmy comment earlier and he said, brown patch would be rare in Kentucky bluegrass, right? And I would assume, I don't know a shit ton about Kentucky bluegrass, but that's not one of the. I hear summer patch a whole lot, but as far as like Rhizoctonus salina on Kentucky bluegrass, I don't hear that a lot. And Timmy has a brain. He might remember Southeast Minnesota. Dan has Kentucky bluegrass. I don't remember that. Timmy, what was it Driver was calling you last night? Boy, Driver had an epic meltdown last night, by the way. And I know this is so much inside baseball, but holy shit, did he have another meltdown. First, the other night on Robert, he went out, Robert, our guest just the other night, he told him, I'm sorry your parents didn't love you enough. And because now he is a stay-at-home dad to help raise his newborn. He said, "Oh, you must be allergic to it." I mean, he just took it totally personal. I mean, he personally attacked
what?
me.
Oh
And
my
it's-
god!
Robert Driver has not been in great shape right now. He's got a lot of like real world pressure going. Oh, he just moved and all that fun stuff, and the pressure of being in a union, and we might have been attacking the union.
You are a fucking pussy.
And boy,
Okay.
oh boy, did man, Timmy got him good last night. It was fucking so good.
We were gonna send a strippergram to draw. Oh, never mind. Would we do? You got the cop, you got the nurse. What would be the other? What would be the appropriate like an
flight
FAA
attendant.
agent? Oh yes, but from Delta with the purple uniform.
From Spirit Airlines or Southwest Airlines, two of his least favorite.
You gotta pay for every piece of clothing she takes off.
Kentucky Bluegrass, 42,000 square feet, seated in 21, September 2021, located in central Minnesota, very sandy soil. Premium seed from a local sod company was used. Tall fescue clumps, assuming that's what they are, seem to be popping up everywhere, and also getting a lot of what looks like orchard grass germination from our field surrounding our lawn. Is there anything I can do to control the tall fescue and orchard grass without starting over with the lawn? I have a feeling that the orchard grass will be an ongoing battle if it remains in the open field. I've been mowing at 2.5 inches, hoping that the tall fescue and orchard grass won't tolerate this, and trying to go lower, but the lawn is pretty bumpy. Second issue is that I can't seem to get the color I was looking for from the grass. Seems really spotty in color. Some of the greenest spots in the yard are where my dogs urinated from where I spilled a bunch of SBN last year.
Soybean meal.
Oh, soybean meal. Okay. Any recommendations on fertilizer? Maybe AMS. We currently use a hybrid type of fertilizer program, some synthetic, some organics, applying around 4 pounds of N per year. Organic, I typically use soybean meal. The lawn normally looks best with that, but it takes a while to notice any results. I've attached pictures with soil tests from April this year. All right, so first things, I'll try and take this point by point, is that with the tall fescue and orchard grass in a Kentucky bluegrass lawn, and based on this picture, dude, you are surrounded literally by a field. So you are naturally going to get ample encroachment of orchard grass and probably a lot of Kentucky 31, because that flat out looks like pasture grass. Is there anything you can do to control that, like post-emergently? No. I hate to tell you, brother, but no. Spot applications or something, or when you overseed your lawn, overseed with a tall fescue Kentucky bluegrass mix. I know you probably don't want to overseed, and that's why you went with Kentucky bluegrass, but that might be a management method. It may not, just based on the aesthetic you're looking for, but it's an option, because the only other alternative would be to get in there and just dig them out or spray them out with spot treatments of glyphosate, try and wick it. As far as your ID is concerned, I think you're exactly right. I think we do see some Kentucky 31 tall fescue. I definitely think we see some orchard grass in there. So I have no issues about that. Now, related to fertilizer, if you're in central Minnesota with sandy soil, I can tell you right now is that number one, I do not believe that there is a pH in central Minnesota of 6.2 anywhere.
Nope.
I do
I'm
not
believing
believe that at all. I would think at best your pH is 7.2, especially how at 4 pounds of N, this is the color response you get, and you're still getting color response from dog urine. If you're getting color response from dog urine and not 4 pounds of N per year, you're losing, your nitrogen use efficiency is too low. And the number one driver of nitrogen use efficiency going downward would be pH going upward. Okay. So, and we've talked at length about my soil and why specifically there's nothing you can take from this test and let it guide any of your decision-making process on what you do on your property. Zero. There's nothing about it. Nothing. We have done side-by-side comparisons from the same property, different soil test methodologies, and looked at how off the my soil test is at least 20 times. At least 20 times. and the pHs are so wildly off that it's almost nauseating to think that they would even report it. It's so bad. So this 6.2 here, I'm guarantee you. DeMay, on the off chance, have you ever heard of a soil pH in central Minnesota of 6.2?
I think it'd be highly unlikely. I'm sure there's pockets there that are that low pH, but given the evidence that's been given to us, pictures and all that, and the validity of the test that's being used here, I'd have to say that it's probably not correct.
Yep.
Hey.
So the other thing too that I can say is ammonium sulfate would be your friend, right? We can't trust this sulfur number, but one of the things that we can do is just we'll go ahead and make an assumption because it's not going to harm anything and it's not going to cost you a significant amount of money. And you are able to elicit a response from soybean. Apply ammonium sulfate.
Wait, Matt, I see something in that grass that's catching my eye.
What is it?
His grass is this disgusting plasticky yellow color. Okay? This grass is this gross plasticky yellow color, and this to me screams high pH and not enough sulfur. And here's the thing about using organic shit on your lawn. You never know when you're going to get that nitrogen out of that hybrid organic, highly hyped crap. Okay? Stop it, please. Stop it. Save your money and just go down to the co-op and order a ton of ammonium sulfate. You'll be a lot happier in the end versus buying bags and bags of this stuff that is not even making the mark because you see, I'm going to guess that, if you were to lay down 1,000 square foot plot side by side of ammonium sulfate versus this hybrid organic fertilizer at equivalent amounts of nitrogen, I would be willing to put down money that the side that you applied the ammonium sulfate to would be greener. And on top of that, it would be greener for less money. Because you see, there's one more little thing about me too, in that I am cheap as well. Okay? I'm cheap.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is pretty simple, and DeMay, said it very articulated it very well. That with the evidence that we have here, and from our experience that we can kind of cross-reference this on, there's no reason that you should not use ammonium sulfate as your primary nitrogen source moving forward. One of the things I would recommend is that your potassium levels here, your phosphorus levels here that are reported on this test, I wouldn't even worry about your micronutrient levels. You cannot trust them, period. And so I would if you feel so inclined, have an actual lab test this using a different methodology, different extractant, like a Melic 3 test, but again, just based on what we see here for the typical types of air reporting we see from my soil, ammonium sulfate makes the most sense. And if you were applying 4 pounds of N from ammonium sulfate and it doesn't look significantly better, that you're not that you don't think to yourself, holy shit, what was I doing waiting so long to do that? I would be shocked, to be honest. I would legitimately be shocked.
Because Matt, there are certain products that I can count on to perform for me. Ammonium sulfate is actually one of them. Because ammonium sulfate has a special place in my heart, because I know quite well I spray out 1/10 of a pound of ammonium sulfate or 2 cents of a pound of AMS. Somebody's going to have a green lawn this week. Guaranteed,
Last one, and nope, not last one yet. OLG Turf wrote in, and he said, "Hey, talk to Ryan and Ray. He sent me to you. I've been toying with the idea of doing Bermuda in my backyard for like 4 years in central Illinois. The backyard is very hot, dry, and windy during the warmer parts of the season, wide open with no shade. My question is this possible without having so much winter that it wouldn't be worth it, or are there hardier cultivars that would be better? I don't mind some winter kill. I'm honestly looking for a new challenge. I would greatly appreciate your input and insight on this." Talk to us, DeMay. Central Illinois, okay. Obviously extended winter compared to what I'm used to. What kind of approach would you take to growing Bermuda in that area?
I don't know that it would be the worst thing in the world. There's a lot of Bermuda out that way, and obviously the improved vegetative varieties offer you a lot of protection, much more than their older counterparts against winter kill. So the only thing I would stress is that you got to have irrigation at least for establishment, and then supplemental if it gets really really hot and dry. You can't just leave it because your growing season's so short, right? So not only from the establishment point of view of, hey, we really only have about maybe 100 days to get it really good and established and get to 100% coverage. And just because we have coverage doesn't mean that we have the maturity of those plants that withstand winter, right? They've got to build roots, and that's really where the carbohydrate storage becomes really, really important to get them through winter. And that's honestly like one of the biggest differences in these cold tolerant varieties is that the root systems on them are both expansive and just, I'll say it, they are the BBLs. They are thick as hell, and they offer a lot of carbohydrate storage. So that all being said, you can't grow grass without water. And if you don't have access to that, you can't move a sprinkler around ever. It's going to be really, really hard to do. I'd be curious to see. I know eShot did his up kind of close to his house. We were talking about him just a little bit ago, and his area is not massive. And I don't know how big Oil of Cheese is. Did he mention that in the? Can't remember if he did or not. But in any regard, getting it water to get it established from whether you're going to do sprigs or sods, absolutely critical. And then from there, you can step back. As far as mowing and maintaining it, year over year after it's been established, I don't think it would be a problem at all. You're going to have green grass from probably about the 1st of May up until end of October-ish, roughly. So, if you can tolerate those dormant months, and as Matt was talking about earlier with eShot, your weed control strategy could just be as simple as, go out there in, dead of winter and you have a day that's, 40 or 50 degrees and rising, go ahead and spray Roundup over top of it, 16 fluid ounces per acre, good to go. That might be enough to get you by, but there's also other alternatives with herbicides for in-season use that you can use to clean yourself up and make sure that things are good. But it's a challenge, just like anything else. And the pucker factor is, coming into May every year when things start greening up is what's coming back and what's not. And if it doesn't come back, right, and it's not going to be like the entire lawn's going to be just smoke, right? It's going to be, spots here and there. What do? How are you going to reestablish? Is it something that you can make sprigs from what you have and, resprig the areas that are bad? Is it something that you're going to go out and buy sod? So having your pivot points of what you're going to do, those would be important too. And for whatever you do, just don't be like Ron Henry and go out there and in the bare spot seed Arden 15 because I'll get mad.
Hey, last night I heard from somebody in Lincoln, Nebraska that did a Bermuda grass experiment in his lawn, and he gave me kind of a detailed synopsis of how it's been so far. And you know what he said? It's been doing fine. It's been doing fine. And the only thing that he's doing that's a little bit different from everybody else is he's mowing his with a greens mower at a 1/2 inch. And you know what he tells me? With that low mowing, it greened up on time and it came back beautifully because when Bermuda goes dormant for the winter, and if it's high cut, you have all that dry, dormant material on top, sitting on top of the turf grass that's basically going to keep the new growth. And by the way, Bermuda grass, you know, when Bermuda grass goes dormant, it has to come back from the rhizomes. So if you have all this dead shit sitting on top of it, that's just going to make it that much harder for it to come back. I'm just saying.
There it is. Okay. Last one here, and then we will get into Joe Knows Turf. We have. I just wanted to share. This is from Nasty Nate. Nate Alman is a good friend of ours, and he has been running some velocity experiments on his own properties that he maintains up in PA, going after POA with it. He ran 2 sequential applications of velocity and a new. So he's doing 2.25 ounces per acre, 2.25 ounces per acre of velocity with 18 ounces per acre of a new. This is after 2 applications, 17 days apart. And boy, oh boy, is the POA is pretty toasty. He said there are some areas where POA is hanging on, but by and large, I was gonna wait till JP got these put up, but we have a conversation ongoing. There we go. You can see. I mean, these are big dead areas where POA once was. So I would say that this here is very effective. What is interesting about this is that, you know, I think Paul Outlaw probably better than anybody did such a great job of showing the degree of suppression that we get out of a new, and Nate kind of took that a step further by combining it with the velocity there. And I mean, there's no doubt about it. That is not suppression there. That's death, my friend. That you have successfully killed POA. Now, that's not a cheap application, but for those of you that are in high pressure, high expectation situations, I wanted to go ahead and share it in case it fit your management style there. So anyway, there we are. Okay, that out of the way, let's check out this week's Joe Knows Turf.
Joe Knows Turf. Hi, I'm Joe. I'm gonna give you a bunch of accurate turf facts today because Joe knows turf.
Joe does know turf. At least he thought he did anyway. So in this week's episode, there is a gentleman that is known to many, or few, as the DIY lawn coach. And this gentleman's name is Devin. He's located in Western North Carolina, and he has a YouTube channel, a website, and is offering some advice. And so he's got a video here that we're going to watch that compares and contrasts the cost of doing it on your own, right, as far as applications and whatnot, versus hiring a lawn care professional. So let's dive in and watch this and see what we see.
What's up, y'all? My name is Devin, the DIY lawn coach. Thank you so much for coming back for another video. So, have you ever wondered what it costs to have a nice looking lawn? Maybe you have been thinking about getting into lawn care and just weren't sure how much it costs. Well, in this video, I'm gonna tell you exactly what it costs to have a great looking lawn. And you're gonna be really surprised by the results. So make sure you hit that subscribe button, give the video a like. Let's get into the video.
I don't want to knock it. This yard looks good. I just want to get that. I got no problem.
All right, so before we get started, I just want to say none of the costs that I'm giving you include any equipment. So no mowers, no backpack sprayer, pump sprayer, weed eater, trimmer, any of that stuff. This is just the chemical applications or fertilizers, pest control, pre-emergent, all that stuff. Exactly what it costs for each application based on 1,000 square feet. So just to kind of tell you a little bit about my situation in my yard, I've got a tall fescue lawn, turf type tall fescue lawn. I live here in Western North Carolina. My lawn is 20,000 square feet. So depending on your lawn size, the average lawn I think is between 5,000 and 7,000 square feet. So I definitely have a much larger than average lawn size. So it does cost me a little bit more, but you're gonna find out a little bit later that I broke everything down based on 1,000 square foot sections. So let's say you have a 5,000 square foot lawn. If it costs $1 per 1,000 square feet, you would just multiply that times 5, and that would tell you that it only cost you $5 to make that application. So wanted to keep it simple, wanted to keep it really easy for you guys. I also am going to leave a link down below, or I'm also going to put this on my website, to a breakdown of everything that I'm talking about, just so that you guys can reference that later if you're interested. So my website, thediylawncoach.com. Feel free to check that out there, or I've linked it down below. So when I started making my notes for this video, I thought, how cool would it be to call a couple professional spray companies and just see what they would charge for me to, for them to take care of my lawn for me for a whole year. And I'll first say I've never had a professional company. I've never dealt with one before. No matter where I've lived, and taking care of my lawn, I've never had a professional company. So let me say this is, by no means me bashing them or talking bad about them or the people that work for them or for those companies. It was just, as someone who takes care of their own lawn, learning about the process and how they build their program, was just fascinating. I learned a whole lot through that program. So just want to say, I'm not trying to bash these companies, but I called two companies. I called one, which is a national company that you've probably heard of, and the other one is more of a local company here in Western North Carolina that both of these companies do not do any mowing. So it was strictly just weed control, fungus control, mosquito control, and so on and so forth. So first thing they wanted to make sure that I knew was that the cost that they gave me was based on my exact, my yard, and it was for 1 year, so for a full calendar year. It did not include any seed or any aeration. And only one of them included a fungus control for the year, which I thought was really interesting because fungus is just something that there's no way to avoid it in this part of the country with the temperatures the way they are, the rain, and if you have a tall fescue lawn or a cool season lawn, there's no way of getting around it. So why would they not include that? I don't know. So basically all the treatments really included was a lime treatment, fertilization, preventative weed control, preventative grub control, a weed treatment if needed. And again, only one of the companies actually included fungus in their year plan. So we'll start with the first company number one, and they quoted me $1,170 for a full year's treatment, which was 9 visits. Okay, and so the way I understood it, and just kind of a blanket statement here, I'll be honest, I have no idea what I was really paying for, other than the $1,170 and then 9 treatments. What are they applying? How much are they applying? What am I getting for my money? That was kind of the overall theme of calling both of these companies. So again, $1,170 per year, so which comes out to be about $130 a month. And that did include, fertilization, weed control, like I mentioned before, preventative grub control, weed control, so pre-emergent, and then maybe a lime, which they didn't even say if either one of these companies never mentioned a soil test. So I don't know why they would be applying lime to my yard if they've never done a soil test. So I'm assuming that they would do that before they ever started the program. Again, I'm not sure. This particular first company does charge extra for mosquito control. They quoted me $40 extra a month for that. They did include 3 fungicide treatments. So I'm assuming that's, in addition to, maybe fertilizing. They did mention they only do 2 fertilizations a year. And that's one in the beginning of the season when they put down their pre-emergent for weed control, and then another fertilization in the fall, which, we'll talk about this a little bit later, but if you're following my program, there's no way 2 fertilizations is enough to have a high-end lawn. But again, that's what you're paying for. Ooh. So for $130 a month.
Wait, do what?
All right, so let's set the stage here. So 20,000 square feet of tall fescue in North Carolina, not far, about halfway between Charlotte and Asheville, North Carolina.
Okay? Yeah.
the lawn does look good. Not going to sit here and
Oh, that's
deny
good,
that. The Yard Mastery sticker on the mower is a little unbecoming, and the socks and Crocs have really set some people off in the chat. I'm just going to go ahead and comment on that. But, be that as it may, so we're comparing the cost of lawn care companies to doing it yourself, right? And he does make a couple key distinctions there. He's not going to bash him, but this is basically, I'm not going to bash him. And this is an 18-minute and 54-second long video, but we had about 4 minutes of, with all due respect, and then the part that comes after. So we'll see how this all ends up. Okay. The other thing that's interesting is that he mentions, I'm not sure if he's tipping his hand there or what, but it does not include any equipment. It doesn't include anything else, right? The overhead that it takes to run a business. So this is not necessarily a apples to apples comparison off the jump, but I appreciate him, calling in to presumably True Green or somebody like that, right? And then a local company. Now, I do want to ask Matt and Ray, to his point about he doesn't know what he's paying for, right? How do you feel about that? And how do you feel about the quantification? And Ray, I think I know where you'll go with this, but how do you feel about the quantification of you're going to get X number of fertilizer applications and Y number of fungicide applications versus you're going to get this result and we'll stand behind the price. And that's that, So where are you guys on that? And do you think he has a legitimate, valid claim here that he doesn't know what he's paying for?
All right, here, let me, I'll try and keep it all in this window. I think one of the things that you're pointing out there is that when you market yourself with these type of outlines, you're being held to them in the same way a preacher would hold you to, following the Bible sort of thing, right? Like he's literally clutching that as if it's gospel. Nope. What I paid for is 2 fertilizer applications, 2 fungicides, 3 pre-emergent, 9 limes, whatever else, right? And in reality, we all know, anyone who operates a business knows it goes like this. Whatever you put on that sheet of paper, you have no fucking care what it says, right? That's just part of your material that you give to a customer, and what you end up applying through the course of the year may look absolutely nothing like that. You might apply fertilizer 6 times through the course of the year, 1 year. And where you normally applied 4 times for the course of the year and you applied a pound in each time, you might do 6 and you only run a half and you only ran a total of 3 pounds for the year, but you applied fertilizer 6 times. So now you're starting to get into like the semantics of it, right? And then again, I promise whoever he had quote this, the way they wrote that out is purely because they don't think. And you got to think when they're approaching this in mass, they have to appeal to their average buyer, right? And if you have a Yard Mastery sticker on your mower, you're probably not the average buyer. That's just flat out. And if they had a if they had a sales rep go do that, the sales rep, you got to think they have been trained to sell to people on what they want to hear. And so. I guess what I'm trying to allude to here, DeMay, is that piece of paper that he's holding in his hand there is absolute fucking garbage bullshit. And he doesn't know it. Whoever owns that business knows it. Neither of them can say that it's bullshit. This guy, because he's trying to prove that what they're doing is wrong, and then the business owner, because he doesn't want to fucking tell you everything you do on the lawn, because he doesn't want you out there clutching that piece of paper, scolding him with it like he's beating you over the head with the Bible either, right? So it's like trying to balance between the two. And I think what you were saying is that if you just guaranteed a result, and I'm going to get it there over the course of 7 applications, to however they seem to be fit, is probably the better way to approach it from a sales perspective. So that way you don't have to deal with clowns like this guy or, other people that are, like, but then again, DeMay, I've run into situations too, where people are like, well, on this estimate right here, they're applying pre-emergence in the spring and the fall. I don't see that on yours. and Daddy told me that pre-emergence, the game changer between having a good lawn and a great lawn. Why aren't you doing 2 in the spring and the fall, and only doing 2 in the spring, 1 in the fall? It's shit like that, right? So I don't know. I get it, but how many people are going to question you on that? I don't know, 2 a year, 3 a year. So is it worth to go ahead and just deal with those 2 or 3 people and approach it from the standpoint that you're guaranteeing a result, versus if you hand them a sheet of paper like this that has it all spelled out, you're probably going to get the same 2 or 3 people that are like, well, you said on this round you're applying fertilizer, but you've applied fertilizer 4 times, and here it says only 2. Why are you doing, more than what you said you were going to do? So, I mean, I think it all averages out in the wash, and we're shooting ourselves in the foot as an industry by selling it that way. That makes sense.
It's fair.
Wow. I mean, I think Matt and Ryan have already read my mind as far as what I'm going to say about this. Haven't you guys?
Yeah.
Yeah, you already know. So, because, okay, for Mr. Ass Clown here, the way I'd handle him is I'd say, okay, you'll have green grass, minimal weeds, end of story, and how I do it and when I do it is none of your goddamn fucking business. Period. That's how I would approach somebody like that. I mean, basically, he's got all of these people playing the games, and they can play the games because for other people that don't question, don't scrutinize. And by the way, I deal with people that scrutinize, That's my clientele. They scrutinize. And so, with him, I say, you know what? You're going to get green grass, no weeds, no diseases, period. How I do it, get fucked.
It's fair. All right, let's continue the video here and see what he breaks down.
I just think that's just crazy. So the second company I called is more the national company. They wanted $11.68, so $2 cheaper per year than the first company, which they only did it at 8 treatments per year. But they did give me 50% off my first treatment. So I'm getting a deal. Came out to be $146 per month. Again, it only included 2 fertilizations per year. They did say that they make 2 applications of weed control per year. So I'm assuming one of those is going to be a pre-emergent.
I don't know how anyone is putting down 2 fertilizer applications a year in this area. It's like that is entirely not real. And he either is ignoring it, where it might say fertilizer and weed control, or
that's what I'm wondering.
Not spell it out on the program that when they apply pre-emergence, it's impregnated on fertilizer, and so it's not listed. And this guy is literally taking it as verbatim as it's written out. But that is complete. There is not a lawn care company in all of North Carolina that is applying only 2 fertilizer applications a year unless the customer specifically demands it. This is bullshit.
You break that into only 8 treatments, but nonetheless, they did say that included lime and a soil amendment, but didn't mention anything about a soil test. And this one does not include any fungus control, no mosquito. That was all extra. So for $146 a month, and you're not treating for fungus and you're not treating for mosquitoes or any sort of pests, ants, fire ants, anything like that. So,
all right. And real quick, this is the other thing that just absolutely chaps my ass is that what he keeps saying is $147 a month. But he said it's $11.68 on the year. That's actually $97.33 a month. It's $140 an application. That's not a monthly cost. And if they're visiting 8 times over the course of the year, then of course that's not monthly. So if you're going to give an apples to apples comparison here, at least for Christ's sake, get the algebra right. That's all.
Shame on them for putting out
shame on your algebra.
Maybe just pricing themselves that way. So I guess at the end of the day, like I mentioned,
the question
for me is, well, what?
I'm not here to bash them, but shame on them.
Shame on them.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right.
Shame on them.
What am I really paying for? If I'm paying $150 a month, basically, to just have
you're
you
not.
fertilize and put
less
down
than
some
100.
preventative weed control, that's there's no way that can be worth it. And then, again, we talked about a soil test.
Ow.
And, obviously the average person who maybe is signing up for these programs, maybe they
really
just
wanna
don't
see what this
know,
guy's paying.
how much fertilizer you
For him
need
to
in
do
a
it himself.
year, and they're just trusting these companies. So again, I asked
Pause.
myself, what am I paying?
I'll tell you when, but you're gonna need to take a big old rip on that bad boy before we
Oh
get
boy.
into that.
And make sure I got plenty of battery.
Go ahead and play.
All right, I'm good.
For. So, again, not trying to talk bad about these companies, but
Yes, you are.
they're
Yes,
in
you
the
are.
business to make money.
Just be honest about
And maybe they're smarter than me. But anyway, so I'm going to bring you guys in my
I'm
office.
gonna go out on a limb and
We'll
say
show
they
you
probably are.
what it actually costs to do your own lawn care. And again, you're going to be
Pause.
super surprised by the result.
Give me 1 second here. Okay, I just wanted to make sure. So we can sit here and bash all day about the agronomic practices of this company, but True Green's revenue $1.495 billion in fiscal year 2022.
And again, I talk a lot of shit about True Green because I've been on the inside of it. One of the things I do know that's changed with them as PE has gone in and taken over is they have a new mid-level management director of agronomy positions that has opened up, and I will say their programs now look way more consistent than they used to. Where the onus used to have to fall on the applicator to be able to make some of those deviated decisions, are you still going to see people showing up and spraying when it's raining? Yes, because that's PE pressure. But I'll say that purely from an agronomic standpoint, if you look at what they're doing, I think a lot of their liquids now are like pre-formulated 17-3/8. They've gotten a little bit more creative with their weed management protocols. You're seeing a bit tighter on paying attention to some of the label things that go on, right? And so I'll say that they have improved in terms of a base agronomic perspective as far as what they do. Why you get such variance in results, part of that's going to come down to the individual applicator. Part of that's going to come down to the applicator having to make the judgment calls of conditions that are there and available, and being able to make those pivots in real time, right? So, and I think that would fall into no matter which company it is. But I one thing I can guarantee you, my guy, here is that you do not have the experience or wherewithal to make any sort of educated estimate as to what they're doing, when they're doing it, why they're doing it. Regardless of how many yard mastery stickers you have, no matter how fresh your Crocs and socks are. And I hope that your program that you're about to pitch to us right now is going to be so dead nut spot on and airtight that I will literally have to put my foot in my mouth. I'm just praying that's the case.
I hope so too, Matt. I really hope so too, because here's what I notice about consumers doing their own lawn care. The ones that have no business doing their own lawn care do and apply all kinds of unnecessary shit, and at the wrong times.
Not
Full
this
stop.
guy, Ray. We're not going to see that with this guy. He's got it figured out. It's going to be perfect.
So let's bring you in the
I'll see.
office and let's look at it. All right, let's step in my office here and get down to business. Okay, so the first application that we're going to talk about is our fertilizer. And I chose the Yard Mastery flagship. Okay, so just for reference, again, my yard is 20,000.
Fuck's sake, really? For fuck's sake.
Just to make sure we're apples to apples here, how many truckloads of Yard Mastery Freedom Fert do you think get sent out to lawn care operators across the nation each year?
0.
0. As in
none.
Less than one.
None.
but more than -1.
More than -1, but less than 1. Yeah, 0.
Okay. Just making sure that we got that all out there.
So, we were talking about what the professionals charge per application. And so, you're going to be surprised. But so Yard Mastery Flagship costs $69 per bag, and each bag weighs 45 pounds.
Pause.
Okay. So,
Matt, do you know any lawn care operators that are paying $69.99 per bag for a fertilizer that would be similar or of equal nutritional value and also slow release characteristics, all that of the 1776 from Yard Master?
13. What would you maybe $15?
Okay,
maybe we'll say as high as 20, maybe as high as 20, maybe in the certain.
We'll use a good round number and call it 20.
Okay,
all right.
I have seen it though, Ryan, and you know why I have seen it happen here with me locally. I have a whole bunch of chuckle fucks and people that think that they're smart fertilizing real cut grass, and they got to do it with granules because they're too much of a dumbass to do it with liquids. And so you know what they're forced to use, Ryan, on that real cut grass that costs $69 per bag? Greens grade.
Oh yeah, greens grade, yeah, 100%. But at you're not going to find a 230, 250, 280 SGN fertilizer anywhere in the market unless someone absolutely hates you for $69 a bag. Like you're not going to do it.
Yeah,
greens grade, yeah, 100%.
Yeah, but then otherwise, this is just overpriced, overhyped shit, right? No more, no less. Yard Mastery. Gravel,
well, he's going to take us to school here. He's going to take us to school. So I'm waiting.
So the bag rate says 3 pounds per 1,000. Okay. So, something that you as a DIYer have to get comfortable with is learning your cost per 1,000 and not focusing so much on the cost per bag or per bottle. Some of these products, like this is oxystrobin, we'll talk about here in a little bit. It's almost $200. The O2IS is $100. Bifenthrin's not so much. It's $50-$60. But
so
when you see this stuff,
that's $360 you've spent so far.
$200 for a fungicide, that's crazy. I can have a professional
plus $70 for the bag of Freedom Fruit.
Oh, okay. So we're already halfway there, and
it's not going to cover the entire.
We're halfway.
Because that's he's got it. He's got a $93 or whatever. Let's let him go through this.
Professional company do it for $140 or whatever. So, but if they charge extra. So anyway, back to the Yard Mastery. So. Getting comfortable with application rates and learning your cost per.
He said something right there. I want to make sure that we highlight. So he said, you can pay that and buy the fungicide, or you can pay $146 or whatever, and they'll charge you extra. Matt, can you please explain to the general viewing public, right, why it might cost extra for a lawn care operator to fill his tank or her tank with fungicide and spray a lawn outside of something else that they might be doing in that particular visit? Why would that cost more?
Because the same way that there is a cost per 1,000 when you apply fertilizer, there's an additional cost per 1,000 that goes into various pesticides that you apply.
Sure.
Yeah.
Now, not only that, but like when I go, let's say I go get my oil changed, Matt. Should I have to pay extra to have my tires rotated? Because, hey, I'm already there and the car is up there. You guys should just do that because you're already at my place, right? Even if it takes you a little bit of extra product, I'll pay for the product, but it's already there. Well, no, that's a completely different process involving a completely different set of tools, or maybe it has some crossover between the tools that we're already using, right? And there's an inherent cost, right, that I don't have fungicide in my tank, or I'm going to use that only on specific lawns, and therefore it's going to take me more time, right? Because not only are you paying for the time, the equipment, the overhead, the labor, the cost of the chemicals and everything else, you're also paying for the expertise. And to what degree the expertise is on your lawn is up to you to choose by the company that you hire to come out there and treat your fucking property. Now, continue with the math, algebra boy.
thousand is pivotal. It's something that you've got to learn. So we're going to be doing a lot of math in this. So just kind of hang on through this. So
you said there would be no math.
45-pound bag at 3 pounds per thousand. That'll cover, obviously, I think the bag says 15,000 square feet. So that's 15 1,000 square foot sections. Okay. So to figure out my cost per thousand, I take the total cost of the bag, divide that by 15, and it cost me $4.66 per 1,000. So you can do the math on your own yard. But for me to apply this at the bag rate is $93.20, which is pretty expensive for fertilizer. Fertilizer costs are pretty high right now, but hopefully.
Pause. Now there was some. there was a little bit of Ron Henry two-step there, real quick.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
146
a month was high, but yet here we are at 2/3 of that cost to do it myself. And listen, boys, I've just got the product and picked it up from the front door in my underwear from the UPS man. Maybe freaked him out a little bit, but that's beside the point. And now I still have to go out there, cut the bag open, try not to slash myself open, stink like fertilizer, go push the goddamn spreader around the yard. And I haven't even cleaned everything up yet, blown anything off the hard surfaces or anything like that. And yet I still need to go in, wash my hands out, drain my balls, get everything down the shower drain, and we can start all over again. But that 146 ain't worth it.
These people
Sometimes
don't know
you
what
can
they're
crank a
talking
shower
about.
for $146. Well,
Yeah, 146 ain't worth it because you know what, Ryan? On occasion, I get these cheap fucks that ask me how come so much, and then I tell them, okay, then you know what I do to them? I line up the bottles, right? I say, okay, here's the Exteris, here's the Celsius, here's the Eagle 20 EW, here's the ProStar, here's the Revolver, and then I tell them, okay, pal, ka-chunk, here's the Maruyama MS-75 and the gun that goes with it. Now do you think I'm too expensive?
I just went, just to be fair here on product, right? If we'll be apples to apples, I just went on, pulled down a price from someplace, and this isn't just professional. I'm getting retail pricing, right? From what you can get from this would be a professional grade fertilizer, right? 240 SGN, 200 SGN, 50% slow release product, nice product. You're looking at about $1.25 to $1.50 per thousand on that product. Same rate, 3/4 pound of N, right? 50% slow release, complete fertilizer, $1.25 to $1.50. I'm not good at math, but I'm pretty sure that $1.50 is less than.
Yep.
That's a lot less. As a matter of, that's a third of the cost.
A third of the cost.
466. Yeah.
And there'll be no lewd and lascivious charges from the UPS guy too. Yeah, that's a plus. Although, but you know, you hired Jesse Bousquet. One, he's not going to take it easy on you. Two, he'll get you out of it, right?
He'll get you out.
You get off, he gets you out. Everybody gets. That's the way it works. All right, let's play it.
So, how much fertilizer am I getting? All right, or how much nitrogen am I getting in the bag? Right. So, in order to figure that out, you take the bag weight of 45 pounds, okay? And you got to know the analysis of the bag. So 2406,
yeah,
the first number represents the percentage of nitrogen in that bag. So at 3 pounds per thousand times the 24% of nitrogen in the bag, that gives me 0.72, or basically 3/4 pound of nitrogen, again, per 1,000 square feet, which is a pretty good shot of nitrogen. So the question you got to ask yourself is, you know, and I'm not trying to make this into a comparison between, you know, DIY versus the professionals, but
yes,
what are you paying for? How much nitrogen are they putting down on your lawn? I mean, all they're telling you is the cost. It's $139 per application or $145 per application of fertilizer. But what does that mean? So again, that's just another added benefit of being a.
Or you could just ask.
That's all.
Or you can just ask and.
And if somebody can't tell you, then you probably shouldn't hire them. It's a good qualifying question as a buyer.
And wait a minute. You know what I then do if somebody asks me? I'm going to tell them, here, this is exactly where I buy this fertilizer from. However, if you show up there as a consumer asking to buy something, you know what the person at the counter is going to do to you?
Tell me.
I'll give you the middle finger.
This is what the guy at the counter is going to tell you, because here's my little rant with people. Say, you know what, pal? I ain't buying my shit from Home Depot. Okay, I ain't. So, this is the difference. Yeah,
he doesn't. All right, let's let him go through his other parts of his program real quick, and then we're gonna jump into one more video from him, just real quick, kind of finish this out. Go ahead and play this.
A DIYer. Let's look at the next one, which is weed control. Over here to weed control. All right, so I chose Speed Zone, which is a 4-way herbicide. Okay, so again, trying to cover as many bases as I can, thinking about maybe more of a professional product. Maybe
using that at 1 ounce
at the big box
Speed
stores.
Zone is a 4-way.
Right. And so I do want to mention too that you can find all of these products are.
He's talking about coverage.
He's in a 4-way. Okay.
Yeah, but
two modes of action.
Are you using Speed Zone by itself at 1 ounce and doing anything other than pissing off a bunch of broadleaf weeds?
Wow.
Herbicides are expensive. Herbicides are expensive these days, guys.
Makes the numbers look better, DeMay. It makes the numbers look better.
I'm just saying, like,
and you know what else?
Take that big toe off the scale. It'll be okay.
Yeah, and here's what I noticed about this guy already is that, you know what? I see something on his bench that automatically red flags a lot, because
I know where you're going.
I see that fucking bullshit scam adjuvant, okay? That fucking bullshit scam stuff. All right? I see that. And here's the thing.
Already, though, if we're at $100 on the fertilizer and $43 on the weed control, we're at basically $140 an application already. So
he's already done it.
Where are we at on saving money? Because I'm not picking up what you're putting down.
Yeah, it's like, because I'm trying to then, okay? And by the way, do you know why I'm a little bit leery of Speed Zone by itself in cool season areas? Do you know why I'm leery about Speed Zone in cool season areas?
I have no problem.
No, it's poor on controlling violet and clover. It's not the best.
No, and that's
poor on
that. It's not made for that. You're right, 100%. And that's why, again, even at that rate, against most anything, I'm very suspicious that you're going to see.
Yeah, imagine a lawn full of wild onions, and you go out there with 1 ounce of Speed Zone
because
even dandelion is going to be
like
singed tips, and then
singed tips and
blown out of the ground.
Because, as I said, Speed Zone by itself, I mean, I can't think of a time when I myself have done Speed Zone by itself, because usually for me, Speed Zone was my kicker or my adjuvant for the rest of the things in my tank. I mean, this was the extra flavoring, because, let's see, I got Monument in there, I got MSM in there, I got Certainty in there, or I got Celsius in there, and I got Revolver in there. Let's go.
Look, all right. If there's anything that I've learned from this guy, exactly what he's told me is that, one, he's a shyster. And number two is that, look, I have no problem if anybody wants to do this DIY. Obviously, we help a shit ton of DIY people.
Mm-hmm.
Are you going to end up saving a ton of money doing DIY? No, because first you have to make the transition to it, and there's going to be a massive upfront cost of acquisition. I mean, it's just how it's going to be. I mean, you're going to spend a year's worth of fertilizer treatments and some just to acquire everything you need. So really what it comes down to is that is it a hobby that you want to undertake because you get pleasure out of doing it and undergoing the diagnostic steps and seeing the fruits of your labor and all that? Or is it something you'd rather farm out because your time is better spent somewhere else? And the reality is that you're going to end up spending about the same amount of money regardless. And this guy just literally proved it, but is so fucking married to this idea that he has to simp for Alan and whoever else, that he is completely bypassing how abysmal the numbers are. and to convince you, to gaslight the viewer into thinking that, oh yeah, see how much money I saved. Does he give a summary at the end of how much money he saved, DeMay?
No, we don't get there. There's actually a part 2 of this that just came out. Let's let's quickly jump over to the fungicide real quick. I don't care about the pest control right now. Yes, here we go.
3 apps. And what are they doing? Are they just doing propiconazole? Are they doing just azoxystrobin? Are they mixing the two together to give you a good 28-day control? I have no idea. All right, so this is where I was talking about kind of some sticker shock with some of this stuff. So propiconazole, $99.95 per gallon. The use rate for my targeted fungus is brown patch is 1 ounce per 1,000. So you take $99.95, divide that by 128 ounces in a gallon is 78 cents per ounce. Azoxystrobin, as I mentioned before, okay, $199.95, $200 for that bottle, which is a lot of money. Use rate is 0.38 ounces per 1,000. So you take $199.95, divide that by 128, gives you a cost of $156.
Pause. Top end on that rate is 0.77, double that rate, right? If you're gonna get, you are not gonna get 28 days at a 0.38 ounces
out of the lowest rate
at all.
And
I don't care what the label says about that. We're not going over label maximums. We're just saying what you're gonna see.
What you're gonna
get Western North Carolina? Fuck no.
Yeah, hell no. So essentially, he's going to be in for the shock of his life when brown patch season comes around and he's using all of these minimal rates on his lawn, isn't he, Matt? He's going to be in the shock of his life, right?
Yeah, if he's got a bad season, but this is what's going to happen is that he's going to catch 2 or 3 seasons in a row where he doesn't have high pressure. He thinks he does, but he doesn't have high pressure, and he gets away with this, and he's going to be like, man, you see, I am the grass god, and so I'm going to start making videos, and I'm going to put them on YouTube, and I'm going to teach everybody that I will be the DIY lawn coach, and I'm gonna teach these people how to do it exactly the way I do it, and then he's going to quickly learn. Well, not quickly, but over time, and as you experience more, and you experience more subtleties and nuance of area to area, property to property. Boy, you drive 100 miles outside of your area of North Carolina, and things aren't going to look exactly like they do where you live all of a sudden. And heaven forbid you lawn coach someone and they run into those issues. And then what are you going to do? What experience are you going to fall back on? Does he actually sell coaching? Of course he does. Of course he does. Yeah.
Yes.
So now all of a sudden, someone is paying you for your virtual coaching here, okay? And I have no idea what it costs. He doesn't listen here. $99 for an hour phone call. Buddy, I'm telling you, I can think of probably 100 different scenarios that you would have no idea the difference between your ass and a hole in the ground. And it's almost worth it to pay you $99 just to watch you have a complete and total fucking meltdown because you have no idea what you're doing. And then because I'm an exceptional asshole, I'm not just a little bit, I have asshole problems that I feel like in my bones sometimes, is that I would give you that $100 just to be able to record it and then put it on the internet and mock you for a significant period of time after the fact. Again, buddy, look, I hate to do this. I genuinely do, and I don't want to take away the joy you get out of lawn care, but where you're really overstepping your bounds is the fucking hoodoo math that you have not been able to get right, really. The way you try to hoodoo your way into rates in order to make the math appear more gentle than it actually is that if you just prefer doing it yourself, fucking say that and run with it. But this idea that you have any sort of leg up advantage over any of the professional companies you contacted, and that would include TruGreen, I promise you, buddy, that 90% of the lawn technicians at TruGreen would absolutely fucking rock your world in terms of what they see day in and day out versus what you've seen on your one property that you've lived at for however. Well, I've traded this property for 10 years by myself, and ain't nobody ever made it better look better than I have. Okay. You deserve a round of applause. Again, your average guy at TruGreen is going to be managing, we'll say 160,000 square feet a day times 5. That's 800,000 square feet a day. That's 28. That's 800,000 square feet a week. That's 20 acres a week times 50 weeks a year. You do the math on that, and you tell me who over treating 1,000 acres a year versus you treating your half acre 4 times a year at however much that is. Tell me honestly, in reality, do you stand a chance there? Do you stand a chance? Are you really in a position that you should be charging people $99 to consult with them for an hour virtually? I'll be real honest with you. No, you're a fucking clown. You're an absolute fucking clown. And what's amazing about it is that you were so brazen as to put it on the internet for the whole world to see and expose yourself as a clown that I can't help but lean into that and just make it loud and proud. I mean, it's Pride Month. Where I'm gonna proudly announce to the world that you, sir, are a fucking moron.
You know, the good thing is there's 2 good things. One is that you only have to pay us as little as $4 a month for hours of content and fun, lively, non-turf discussion at your fingertips. Check us out, www.patreon.com/furniture. The only thing we sell is access to a community of like-minded people that have not figured it all the way out and have learned that they have not figured it all the way out. And this week we're celebrating our 200th member in the Patreon. Who knew that there are 200 people that are dumb enough to listen to us? Because listen, we just watched somebody be really, really dumb about math and grass and everything like that. But seriously, people that apparently want to engage with us on a regular basis and hear us talk, nuts, crazy. All right. The second dumb thing is that we recently had a show in which Alan Hain, the lawn care nut, was ridiculing people that labels are to be interpreted by the common man and that there is no temperature restrictions for applications of fertilizer. Did we not hear that?
We heard it.
Is that accurate?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And we have agreed that the gentleman that we just watched, and if you go through his channel, you can see it. And listen, I have a problem with people who consult, quote unquote, and use that term. I consult, and I don't like using the word like that when you also sell product, right? And when you have solutions to sell.
Do you remember
people.
what Ron Henry told us, though? Is that
Yes.
if you provide answers and you don't sell the product, therefore the advice you give cannot be trusted, according to the fucking clown himself.
Says
Yeah,
Dr. Travis Shadow.
Holy cow.
Yeah. So in that vein, right? We've set the stage here for the DIY lawn coach to tell us about the caution that you should take when applying fertilizers in the heat. DIY lawn coach, please.
Is he about to get fired from Yardmaster and he doesn't know it?
You know, it's still pretty humid, but we never want to apply any fertilizer or really anything to our lawns when it's over 85 degrees, especially fertilizer, because these have some urea in them. You could potentially burn your lawn if you were to apply this in direct sunlight.
Wait.
You know, it's always a good idea to read the label. And the label will tell you not to apply it over 85 degrees. So things are cooling off, so we're good.
Replay that. Pause.
So,
go back.
I mentioned
10 seconds.
we
replay that. Listen.
Burn your lawn if you were to apply this.
I see old boy here is about to do the ultimate fertilizer fuck up. This guy's about to do the ultimate fertilizer fuck up. And you know what that fertilizer fuck up is? He's going to load that. Yes, he's going to load that fertilizer solution with surfactants. I mean, because
luckily it's really low analysis, so I don't think he's really running into much risk there. The surfactant alone may burn the grass if it's hot enough. And I would I would reckon to guess that if any of those products he has on the table has a temperature restriction, it's the surfactant, not the 2 fertilizers.
Correct. Mm-hmm. And I did go back and look. These are Pete's fertilizers. They're fine. They're good fertilizers. It has nothing to do with fertilizer. But listen to what he says here. That might go against what Big Dick Daddy Alan has to say.
Always, you know, it's always a good idea to read the label. And the label will tell you not to apply it over 85 degrees. So things are cooling off, so we're good. So I mentioned we switched from a...
You're fired.
Alan said I've never read it. I've read dozens.
He was a terrible. He was a terrible affiliate. The worst, just the worst affiliate you've ever seen. We didn't need him. That's why he's fired. You're terrible. What would Alan Trump's nickname be for old fucking flag hat here? I almost said it out loud. I
it would have just been Crocs and socks.
Yeah, Crocs and socks. Yeah.
That's what we got.
Granular fertilizer over to
Boy,
a
your
liquid.
guns are on 10 there. I hate to do this. I try not to poke on people's appearances too, but buddy, your guns there, you might want to cover those up. Someone might drive by and yell something at the window at you. It's quite unimpressive.
This guy's a fucking weirdo.
Listen, I'm sure he's a nice guy. I don't have anything against him personally,
no doubt.
But I think the message here is clear. One,
this
is
is
a bad
so
premise.
disingenuous, though. This is so disingenuous.
Well, it's either disingenuous or it's just ignorance, and I don't know which one it is.
It's disingenuous.
I think, fair enough.
In my opinion. Just my opinion.
I honestly don't know. The thing that I'm saying, though, is that there is, I don't want somebody to watch this and say, well, yeah, geez, it is easier for me to buy my own stuff, right? Regardless of where you buy it from. I don't even care if you buy it from Allen and Yardmaster and whomever, right? That's the irrelevant part. The point is that if you choose to have a hardworking man or woman come out there and apply stuff to your lawn, you're not just paying for them to come and spread stuff all willy-nilly, blow stuff all over the place. And if you are and you're getting that type of service, you should fire them anyway. You should have enough consumer confidence to get rid of them, because there's better places and better people out there. The point of why you have,
especially in North Carolina, there's a shit ton of great applicators in North Carolina,
and so to shit on them, I mean, that's the part that's disingenuous about the video. I'm not here to bash them. I'm not here to talk bad about them. But here again is 95% of the video in which I'm incredulously looking at the camera. I just don't understand. Well, then you
I don't want to compare, but this is the way I've compared it.
Yeah, this is the way I've compared it. That I don't know what I'm paying for. You know what? You know what you're paying for, pal? You're paying for their equipment, and you're paying for the fact that your fat ass can stay in the house while they bust their ass sweating in the sun, you motherfucker.
And the risk.
God,
the risk. How many appliance repairmen do we see that kill an entire neighborhood's worth of grass in South Dakota and have to fucking sod all that shit? I mean, the risk that is being borne by an applicator and the company that they work for is massive.
Or Ryan, the worst one that I can think of is, all right, here is a tree-lined neighborhood, right?
Oh yeah.
If your speed zone app goes sideways, aloha to the trees, okay? Aloha, because last time I checked, 2,4-D and dicamba, they're excellent at killing trees. Just saying.
At those suborgasmal rates, I think we're just going to have to settle for a nice case of blue balls. It's about what you'll get from wearing Crocs and socks as an adult. All right. With all that being said, it's been a great show. We hope you all have enjoyed, and this has been a wholesome, well-spent 90 minutes with us, the chuckle fucks that you love and dote on daily, hopefully, maybe at least just weekly, just at least 3 hours a week, 2 hours a week, whatever it is. And our patrons are going to join us right now to name the show. And after that, we will get on out of here, and we'll be back on Wednesday with Levi. We've got another golf guy on. It should be a
young buck too.
Psyched. Let's go.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's
have
fucking go.
I'll tell you, I gave that about a 25% chance of ending badly, and it ended worse than I ever could have imagined.
Lord. Yeah, it went from bad to worse, didn't it, Ryan? God.
I was trying real hard to be nice, but man, as he kept talking, I was like, you really don't deserve anyone to be nice to you. I'll be honest. He's
got 15 years experience maintaining lawns. Go look at his website. His website's...
He's got 15 years experience? How embarrassing.
You know what he does? He works for a grocery supplier.
Oh, Lord.
Go look him
Lord.
up. Devin Donnelly. Devin Donnelly. Hickory, North Carolina. He's on LinkedIn.
So essentially, he's basically a commodity, what they call a commodity wholesaler for the grocery
Yeah,
stores.
there's only one of those I trust, and that's B Mawson in our Discord. Not a fucking chance would I trust this fucking asshole. Anybody who confuses, who it deliberately attempts to manipulate numbers like this to you.
Wait. Go to his website. Put it on the screen, J Pink. Go to the homepage.
Brent,
I need
you're
to
not
show you
wrong about
this guy's
that.
attention to detail. J Pink alive? Is he dead? There he is.
No, he's here. He just had prepped for a different the title. So.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm a piece of shit.
I mean, I wasn't gonna say that.
Slow it. Oh, I can
Merchants,
say it.
distributors.
I know. Slide down. Go all the way down here to the testimonials. Keep going. Oh, right here. So Brooke H, homeowner, says within the first week, Devin was coaching us on our yard. It came to life. He said a step-by-step instructions, super easy, blah, blah, blah. John P, homeowner, says this guy's fucking awesome. And then Devin forgot to put the third testimonial. Name, title. Share.
Oh, he made up all his testimonials. Shocker.
He made them all up. These are all fakes, okay? These are all fakes because, like you say, Ryan and Matt, he probably will not know what to do if he has a hard case. You know, he has like a truly problem lawn. I'm pretty sure he would not know what to do.
Hard for my eyes
he wouldn't know what to
read
do.
This green on white text.
Yeah, it's
And this white on green text.
awful.
Maybe I have bad eyes.
No, it's terrible.
Wait, go back down for a sec. Oh, shit. Wait, I'll look for it here. Oh, wait. I wonder if Aldo's still in here or not. It says Brooke H. I wonder if that's backwards for Heather Brooke.
The queen.
I do some fucking. She's done some. She could be a coach. Seriously.
Without a doubt.
I mean, could you imagine her like getting down, hands and knees, like screaming at your old lady? Open your fucking jaw, just like, God, man, that should be hot. Initial comments is 179 in person.
So he has always been, well, not always, but he's been in food service for quite a while.
He went to Johnson and Wales, which is like I'd say it's on the same level or close to CIA.
I mean, his degree is in culinary arts.
Yeah.
So where did he get all the fucking lawn experience? Because he's been a homeowner for 15 years. Please tell me that's not true.
That's true.
Yes, that is, Matt. You're all of a sudden
God.
you're like an absolute expert if you've done just your own lawn for 15 years and you've never touched another property that was different from yours. You're all of a sudden you're an expert, Matt.
He
Didn't you know that?
sells newsletters for $10 a piece. That's amazing.
The July one is out of stock.
Oh,
How is the
I'm sure
digital newsletter? How is it?
that sales are hot when you have to restrict your digital newsletter outflows.
Amazon links.
$35 for a fucking hat?
Yep.
Jesus.
I think the only thing you missed, otherwise to me, is also
You gotta pay $10 to get his. You gotta pay $10 for his newsletter.
Yeah.
Listen, there's
His
times that I
latest
feel
one is out of
slimy.
stock.
there are a few times I feel slimy that we have a Patreon, but like they're very few and far between. I do not feel bad at all, and I don't think I'll ever feel bad at all about this again.
No, not at all. I have no qualms whatsoever about shitting all over that guy. Like, I tried to be nice, but then as we got into it, I was like, wait, this guy does not deserve anyone to be nice to him at all. None.
I'm not trying to bash him. I'm just calling him a fucking asshole.
Yeah. I'm not bashing him.
He's an example of
he's a fucking worthless piece of shit that deserves to die.
No, man who thinks he knows more than he actually does. That's my only conclusion, Matt. You know, and it's when I meet somebody that's like that, I'm just thinking, oh my goodness, you know, man who thinks he knows more than he actually does. I can't put it any other way.
Fucking son puts me on melanoma.
Wait. Emo, probably not the best weight loss plan. The juice factor. You wouldn't have said anything. The poll test gets ginger hack. When the ball bags are filled, you need to deload. Shoveling coal in Sheila's furnace.
Yes.
I think some of that might have been pre-show up here. Waterboarding.
I definitely said the Sheila thing on the show.
Yeah, the Sheila thing I think is where the show proper started. Just buy the damn mower, CC Ray. Knock the dick out of it. The pucker factor. When you break it down, mine is larger. Clutching my pearls in lawn care. Crocs and socks. Train my balls. Alan Trump. Crocs and socks. It's not me in the testimonials. Oh yeah, because John P. homeowner.
Yeah.
Heather Brooke wouldn't suck socks and Crocs. The blind leading the blind into oncoming traffic.
Kind of. I mean, we can't really do it, but I do enjoy the knock the dick out of it. Also,
yeah, I like the poll test gets Ginger hacked, but we didn't really talk about that.
That was pre-show. That was pre-show.
Yeah. The other one was waterboarding the lawn for answers. That one's pretty fun.
I think we got to go Crocs and socks. I mean, that's
Crocs and Crocs and socks. Yeah, let's do Crocs and socks. I mean,
credit for that should go to Aldo since he's the one that was freaking out about it in the chat.
Yeah. I mean, that
as soon as he said what, I didn't even have to guess. I knew exactly what the fuck he was going to say.
Yeah, because you see, that is called Ryan, a footwear offense. Okay, Crocs and socks. I mean, yikes!
I think he was wearing them on the wrong feet too. I think they were like backwards, and he was still running with them. So whatever.
Yikes!
All right, boys. Wednesday night.
Also, so his real name isn't Levi; it's Eric Lee.
Right.
Yeah.
He just goes by Levi in the Discord.
Yeah. I was keeping him anonymous in case he didn't want to think he was in witness protection or.
Oh, fuck that kid.
Oh, well,
I'm just kidding.
No,
he's probably listening right now.
No, and you know what?
Fuck you,
he's
Levi.
got nothing to hide. I mean, he's not government, okay, Matt? He's not government, so he's cool.
Not yet.
If you know, you know. He's not government, so he's not hiding, all right? So he's all right with me.
All right, if Gyro doesn't get any better by Wednesday, we're going to send him a Venmo for a hooker. Love you.
All right. We'll see y'all Wednesday.
All right. Bye.